Hello! Happy Wednesday. How's everyone doing? Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me just turn my phone on mute so it doesn't ring. How's everyone doing? Blaze, hello. Rain, hello. Tori, I saw Tori in there. Hello. Fire King, hello. Nikki, hello. How's everyone doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. How's everyone doing tonight? You love Imagine Dragons? They're pretty good. I like them. All right. Just have to wait for our pal to join. He's probably gonna chat. I don't chat at the beginning of my streams as much as other people do. I just like to play games. Love Magic Dragons. Love Radioactive. Yeah, it's a good song. Doing good. It's been so hot. Yes, it has been ridiculously hot. Like, it's actually unfair how hot it's been. It was like 102, I think, at the hottest today. But yeah, it's been like in the 90s or 100s. I have to sneeze. For the past couple weeks. Excuse me. I need to go back to where Roderica was. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I took a nap so I wouldn't be sleepy before stream. And I think it was actually a bad idea. Thank you, Tori. Tori, how's it going? Tori, do you have anything fun planned this weekend? You always have such fun stuff planned. I always live vicariously through you. Oh, that is. Oh. All right, hold on. I have to blow my nose. I'll be right back. There we go. I'm back. No, next week? Next week? What you got going on next week? It's 9 p.m. and it's still 28.
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
It's been hot and my work truck is getting work done, so I have to drive the other one. And the AC's I want to throw up for you, Nikki. I thought my air conditioner was broken the other day. Because I was in here, like, I was in here for, like, what felt like 500 years. And it, like, was still super warm. But obviously it works fine because it's working today. But there was a moment where I was like, hi, hello, why is it still 500 million degrees? Creature, what you got going on? Family camping trip and I have a road trip to visit a bunch of ghost towns. That sounds so scary. I would never, but also that sounds so fun. I could never though, because I'm a big baby. I'm kind of confused here how I got so turned. Oh no. Oh, I guess not. I guess like there's loot here because this is my save as opposed to technically Envoy's save. So maybe I can double up on stuff. Yeah, that does sound awesome, Tori, right? Ghost towns is towns that sadly aren't active anymore. Yeah, no. I knew what you meant. Like, it's still creepy and that's still scary and because Canadian. Oh. I'm American and I don't know any better.
And say hello to our co-host Pinxel here.
Hi,
how are you? Welcome in. Hello.
Hi, hello.
My game screen is kind of hilarious right now because I am simply looking longingly onto at a castle from far away.
Like
I think let me see if this works. Please work. I think it's going to work. It's been working so seamlessly lately.
Yeah. Don't
Yo, what's up? Gil, welcome in.
Great pot.
Yeah, the great pots, right? Trying to look at your door. The only free time I got moving house. See you later. Oh, Gil left something at my door. I will be right back. Entertain the masses, Pink.
Oh yeah, as I just scream because I'm trying to go and pick up all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Sure. You're just chilling. Thanks for asking. Listen, chilling is all you gotta be doing sometimes. Yeah, Tori, that does sound awesome. Send me pics because I definitely will not be brave enough to be participating. Hi, May. Listen, don't be pushing me. Don't be pushing me off any cliffs today, okay? I got stuff to get done. No Pokemon going. Oh, you're gonna be like 5 minutes max. Really?
Pink, I need to. I'm 1 sec. I don't know if you're looking at my screen right now. So I work with a guy. His name's Gil. And he frequents my chat every so often.
Yeah.
And he leaves me comic books every so often as well. He leaves me comics. He's a comic book collector, and he knows that I like Godzilla, and he knows that I play Magic. And he left me a comic at my doorstep. It's like a re-release of the first issue of Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's holo-fucking-graphic. Are you kidding me? This is so cool.
May, why would you do that, May?
Like this is so insane. Holy shit. Like, this is so cool.
Did I buy any Amazon Prime Day stuff? I'll tell you about it in a second.
Ooh, I got some energy drinks off Amazon Prime.
I actually did not buy anything on Amazon Prime, but our wonderful bestie Yaga that we love so much.
Yes, we love Yaga.
She knew that I was in the market for a walking pad to go under my standing desk.
Oh, yeah, like one of the squishy things?
Oh, no, like a walking pad so I can walk, like a miniature treadmill so I can walk.
Yeah.
Yaga bought me one on Prime Day.
No shit.
Yes.
Shout out to Yaga. That's so kind.
Yes, Yaga bought me one on Prime Day because I had mentioned on stream that now that I have a standing desk, I would love like a treadmill to be able to walk.
Yeah. That's so cool. Are you walking right now?
No, it's not here yet. It should be here on Tuesday.
You need to walk in place. You know, as soon as the order was made, you need to simulate.
Oh, hold on. Let me. I
need marching orders.
Are you standing? Are you standing?
I'm standing. Yeah.
Of course.
Absolutely. Are you standing?
I'm gonna stand up. Hold on.
Like, come on. We can't have one person standing here.
I'm standing. I'm standing.
Wow.
I'm standing.
I actually haven't sat down at a stream in over a week.
I'm standing. Hold on. I've got it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we standing up in this place. Let's go. We're standing.
All right, we're standing. We're standing.
Team
Astro,
standing.
hello.
You're getting attacked.
I am
in your game.
I know.
That's so funny. I sat yesterday during stream. Did I?
Team standing.
Listen.
Team standing. And then, like, imagine I could be like walking right now, guys.
You could be walking.
That's how I would walk. I'm gonna like
steps.
go really exaggerated like this.
Yeah. Like basically have a theme song. I'm not calling you fat, I promise, but it's like bum 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 bum.
Just like a trombone.
Yeah, like a trombone, like a dude sitting behind you. Hell yeah. Turn mask on. What is mask? What?
Oh, I have to. I can. You did the little pot? Little tiny great pot.
No. I haven't played. I'm still at my. I needed to show off my thing.
Yeah.
MSK. Oh, my map.
You work a labor job. Yeah. Nikki's like, I don't stand when I play my video games. Astro, how are you? Welcome in. I miss you.
We're talking about my mask and my backdrop. So yeah, I'm staring longingly into the distance.
Not on. I need to turn him on too. You can't see. You
guys, we have to turn on our statue.
Beautiful.
We have to turn.
I have Elden Ring artwork now, guys. Look at it. It's not up yet though.
I want to see your Elden Ring artwork.
My Blythe and Ronnie. Yeah, you've seen it before.
I have the Radon.
Yeah. Look at my Blythe and Ronnie artwork that I got. I'm so excited. Like, I can't not have a reflection no matter where I go.
I got this.
I'm excited.
I got this because of Pinxel sharing the link.
Look at that.
Pinxel shared the linksel.
The linksel. Pinxel shared the linksel. That's right, guys.
There we go.
That's right.
We're just sharing our artwork here. This is but one of the many things that I have. That's so sick. I love. Thank you so much again for sharing that link.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Super legit. It's super legit. I know. I might go back and get the Melania one. I really liked this one.
I like the Melania one, but I think I shared the picture of the Melania that I picked up from a different artist.
Oh, Spider-Man. Hello, welcome in.
You'll have to remind me, if you will, of how to summon people again in this video game. The tiniest of great pots.
The tiny great pot.
I have a separation as tiny great pot.
Tiny great pot.
I have used the tiny great pot. Open world to wanderers. Guys, I'm using a different
Wanderers.
controller today because my jump button on my last controller is getting a little sticky. And
A little sticky.
a little sticky. Are we, did it work?
Yes, it's connecting.
Amazing.
I'm using an Xbox controller, but
The tinier
I'm
the greater,
using
yeah?
one of the Xbox controllers that has programmable back paddles. I don't know if you can see them.
Yes, I picked up one of those.
So I have my run button, and then I have my other one programmed to my down on my D-pad, so I can always quick my health there.
Thunder's just told me not to have sticky things on my hands, and I'm a little insulted that she tried to tell me that I can't have Cheeto dust lining my fingers while I play the game.
So,
are you even a gamer, Thundus?
Let's go to Castle Morn so we can get you your sword.
My sword.
Your sword. Your bunk. Your bunk.
What sword? Oh, I'm looking for. Yeah, we're getting the big.
Yeah.
Are we going to the Castle Morn lift?
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a big bonky sword.
Yeah.
Don't question my gamingness, then I'm questioning your Cheeto fingerness. Come on, like if you don't have Cheeto fingers.
Hold on.
Cheetos. You know, it's a topic for me. Listen, I've got the best Cheetos in the business in my pantry right now. We're going up the lift.
Yep.
You're my guide here. I'm just along for the ride to bonk things, and you're gonna be like whoosh whoosh whoosh. It's gonna be great.
I feel like I'm pretty good now, and I'm pretty versed, and I have, learned the Elden and the Ring, but then
the Elden way.
I could probably very easily embarrass myself.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Ooh, flamin' hot baked lime. I appreciate that we have another
hot baked lime Cheetos.
I'm very grateful that we have another baked Cheetos stand in my life.
I like baked Cheetos, but flamin' hot
I love
lime?
baked ones.
What?
Yeah, baked flamin' hot lime. Jesus, they're so good. The cheddar jalapeno are my actual favorites, but I am dealing no damage.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, Miss
I'll figure it out.
Hello, Miss Begotten. Can we Miss Be not, please?
What, the baked or the cheddar jalapeno?
Can we Miss Be not and hitting me, please? Thank you.
Tony just finished a bag of Cheetos, and I am calling you out.
Guys, magic is kind of like...
I'm dying.
Amazing.
My attacks are too slow here. That was epic. There we go. Jesus Christ. You need to try. I'll try to find the baked. I'll try to find the baked Cheetos.
Okay, he's dead. Get this one.
I'm criticaling him. Tony, what's everybody's favorite flavor of Cheeto? Like your favorite variation?
Crunchy for sure instead of puffed.
Yeah. It's got to be crunchy Cheetos. That's for sure. I don't think anybody is contesting that.
Hi, Rachel,
but
welcome in.
I'm a big flamin' hot OG crunchy. Really, I will say OG crunchy when I'm having the munchies.
OG crunchy too.
At work. OG crunchies, like the snack pack bags come with the most snack. I cannot partake in this conversation because you haven't had all the best Cheetos in the world. That's unfortunate.
The jalapeno lime. See, I haven't had them.
The flamin' hot is an OG Grady. No, I think Thundus is just has never had them.
You guys can hear Envoy, right?
Can you? I am so loud.
Yeah, I see it moving.
You only have OG and flamin' hot. That is, we're gonna fix that. The cheddar house. Okay, Pinx, I have a very important question to ask you. Have you been gifted the pleasure of having the Flamin' Hot Cheetos mac and cheese, or the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, or excuse me, the cheddar jalapeno mac and cheese?
Okay, I have had the Cheetos mac and cheese, but I am a giant baby, and the Flamin' Hot is too spicy for me.
Really?
Oh, my voice is a little quiet? Hold on, let me turn my mic up a smidge. I might just be quiet compared to Envoy, so hold on.
Maybe. I will also ask the same question. Can you guys hear Pinxel okay?
Let me turn mine up.
I've had both of their okay. The cheddar jalapeno mac and cheese is a right slapper.
A right slapper.
Okay, good. A right slapper. I am at the top of a ladder, devoid of heals, watching turmoil ensue.
Oh, okay. I will follow you.
I kind of like kept climbing as many ladders as I could find, and I noticed that you died, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm on my
There's
own.
a claymore in this chest.
Amazing chest ahead?
Below.
Oh. Below. It was like, no, not ahead, below. I'm actually, like, you know that little bridge where there's some flying idiots? That's kind of
Yeah. Oh my
probably too
God,
many
I can't-
chemicals, yeah. Chemicals are
hair's
only
getting
allowed in the
pink.
United States in our food.
Yeah, only the U.S. puts poisonous chemicals in their food.
Did you die on purpose, I imagine?
No, I got.
NZ is, oh, it
I
was
got
an
caught.
unintentional death?
I got caught off guard.
Ah, I see. Also, I got to try the Logan Paul drink recently.
The
Prime.
Okay, I love
Yeah.
Prime actually. There's a
It's
couple that are
not
so good.
The worst stuff. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. So bad. It was very flavorful. I'll never buy another, but
Really?
honestly, not that bad. It's like
It's because
super
they
potent
use
in the flavor.
They use coconut water, not water.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you going to be spawning near me, or should I just wait for you?
I'm coming back up the lift, so I can make my
Okay.
way over there in just a second. The lift had to.
So like I went up the pile of rubbish,
Mhm.
of rubble,
Mhm.
and there's like a little pathway back there. That's where I went.
Yeah, no,
the
I
blue
I
raspberry
wasn't too far
prime, and you
behind.
don't like it, really? That was my first. It was the ice pop flavor, ice pop, and not terrible.
Yeah, I like it's the red, white, and blue bottle, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I see you
Ice
walking
pop's
into
good.
the building. That's hilarious.
I
I'm watching you
like.
scurry.
It's one. It's called it's something moon, and it's a white bottle, white and black bottle, and it's so good.
Okay, interesting. Would rather have blue Gatorade? I think so. I'm a
Coming up the
lime
ladder.
Gatorade guy. But yeah, I
Lime
won't
Gatorade?
try this again. I'm also gonna turn the Spotify music off unless we want to hear it, because there's gonna be music. I just don't want sensory overload. Oh great, I'm gonna die. I just went to pick up an item. Oh, but Pinxel coming in clutch, saving my ass! Oh my god, I was in dire peril.
I'm here.
That was amazing.
I am here. I
It's
have
like
arrived.
It's like a Gatorade mimic, I guess. It's like
Yeah,
an
it's a
electrolyte
hydration drink.
restorer.
Yeah.
A hydration beverage.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like a sports beverage.
Beverage.
Fuck this guy.
Yes.
Amazing. Didn't need your help on that one. Oh, we got a torch. Sweet. I wish I knew that was there the whole
Steel wire
time.
torch.
All right. I guess I
Have
want
I died
to...
yet? I've died twice, just being stupid.
Oh, I was about to say you died again.
No, I answered a chat.
Girl.
Girl. No.
Girl, what you doing?
No.
Right.
I'm good.
I am simply up the rafters.
Yeah.
Waits for me.
Oh no.
No, I keep abandoning you in cold blood.
Yeah.
And here I am begging even. All right. Let's hop on down. Let's skip across. Is there a grace? I feel like there's a grace that's
I don't think so. Actually.
Oh my
Oh
God,
yeah,
this
on the
is
other
so
side.
good.
On the other side where the
Is it on the other side? It's not down this ladder. Okay. Sweet.
Have we found what's his name yet? The guy.
I don't know who that is.
The guy. There's a guy, like a human man, at the end of this castle.
I'm getting hit again by something. Oh, probably by the flying guy throwing rocks at me. No, I don't think we found a
Probably
guy. I don't
We've
think
not
we
found a man.
dude. No men around here.
Okay.
Pinxel, remember, she has been low-key obsessed with this game for how many months now?
Oh, about like 6 or so now.
About 6 months, and
Yeah.
recently became Elden Lord. I have a giant
Yes.
feather sticking out of my arm. That hurts. And I also have no memory whatsoever, so...
I have a
Um,
terrible memory, but I like am currently like in my Elden Ring era, so.
All right, I'm gonna level up real quick. I got enough for it.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm
probably
gonna
had
need to
enough,
level up
but I
my
died.
strength, to use my big bonker. So
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna focus on that. Going down, yeah.
Wolfie, thank you for 34
What's up, Wolfie?
months. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
How you doing? Welcome in.
Oh my God! I fell for the classic blunder.
Oh no, did you fall in the gap?
I did. I did not jump.
Didn't make the gap.
I fell for one of the classic blunders.
Oh, R.I.P.
The most famous of which is never get involved in a land war in Asia.
Oh no.
Oh, but you're right here.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hi.
Can we get some turtleneck?
There's a goop. Goop.
There's a booger. I'm
Classic
coming
blunder.
over for dinner.
He engaged in a land war in Asia? Yeah. Did you not type it fast enough? Can I not speak to ghosts? Whatever.
Man, well, at least I get to stagger people pretty quick. That's good. Amazing. We're doing well.
Yeah.
Iron Cleaver I got.
A cleaver. Wonder if that one's gonna be any better here. Let's see.
There we go.
Oh, well,
All right, all right, all right.
it's not now.
We're gonna take care of this guy, right?
Yeah. There's definitely probably another guy about to jump out. I said I'd like to do that in this game. Can I move, please? Thank you.
Amazing. I interrupted him.
You did.
Well, he was under siege. We interrupted him, and he was not able to fight us. We only got 100 runes for that. This game is rigged.
I know. Early game, I think the like the giant trolls are probably the best. They're like a
Yeah, they
1,000
are.
each.
Yeah, I remember we were farming them last week,
Yeah.
so that I could use my little fang and run around naked still.
Twin blade
Twin blade
talisman.
talisman?
All
Is this
right.
windy?
All right.
Final hit of chain attacks? Okay, I can
Yeah.
flex this. You know, I'm gonna equip some armor. I think that I am long overdue for some clothing.
Hmm.
Now I have a medium load, but I look so comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look really comfortable.
What did you put on?
I have what I had, honestly, is what I put on.
Really? That's funny.
I have a question. I probably don't have an answer because I am ignorant about this game, but I will gladly rack every nook and cranny and crevice of my brain to discover this answer for you. Yeah, I missed. I'm an idiot.
Oh, wow. Wow. A tarnished
Fuck
gold
me.
sunflower. Wow. Wow.
What is your question, Thundus? I must know. Tarnished golden sunflower. Amazing.
Tarnished. Wow.
Yeah. We really should have alarms in the morning. That's just them, like the guy saying, "Rise now, ye tarnished."
Yeah.
I like to
would be
wake up in the
great.
morning. I should do it. Okay. Wait, is this a medium roll? No shit. Medium load is awesome.
Oh, what are you? Hello. Smithing.
Yeah, I like-
smithing
I-
stone. Oh, no, I can't.
Okay.
Can't.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you move so I can.
No, you idiot. I made it. Okay. Good.
I have become great at parkour
I'm pretty decent at it usually. I don't know.
because I got the frenzied flame ending thing, and I say that, and then I immediately took damage. So great.
Okay, not to like make anyone's frenzied flame, whatever, but there's a certain point in that drop where you will survive it no matter what. And
Really?
Yes, and it sucks because there's an item that is like right above that threshold, and Yaga
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
tried so many times to jump and get it, and it just
This is a
kept
great
pulling
spec,
us down. Yeah, see, I knew that.
That is unfortunate. I actually bounced off a wall
hilarious.
doing that, and it saved my ass. The beverage that we call an Americano here. It's a double shot of coffee that is espresso with like 200 milliliters of hot water. I'm not very well versed in my coffee-isms, but I know I like Americanos.
All right, we don't need.
That
to go
is all
across,
that I
let's
know.
just go down.
That is my extent. There's an item back here I'm gonna go grab
Oh,
before we
okay.
go get fucked up by the Leonine idiot.
Yeah, it's just there's a flying guy there, and he's annoying.
There is, and he's dead. There's no
Amazing.
falling guy anymore. Oh, it's just throwing daggers. Great.
Oh,
Now I'm in a heavy load because of my torch. I've never seen a heavy roll in Elden Ring. It's a Lena. Yeah, Lena would be able to answer you better than I could.
okay. Ah, he's the fish. I won't. I have no quarrel here, jellyfish.
I have no quarrel with you. Are you ready?
Hi, Bubbles. Thank you for lurking.
Are we ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready to summon my jelly.
Oh no. Oh no, poor jellies. Poor jellies.
We deal no damage.
I dodge in the middle of a cast, can I? Oh, he's definitely poisoned though.
Oh, yes, yes.
Get the...
Phenomenal.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
Let's go. He's poisoned too.
Yep.
Thanks for the jellies. I'm glad I'm not dying now that I have armor.
Oh my god, I can't dodge in a cast! It's so stupid.
Easy. Easy, boss. Easy
Let's
victories.
go.
Let's go.
Easy
All right.
peasy.
Grafted blade, great sword. What do I need for this? I need 40 goddamn strength.
Woo!
Bet. It's gonna happen. We have 40 strength to get this going.
I think I need 60 faith to be able to do Comet Azor when I get there.
Yes, you do need 60. Isn't it
int?
intelligence though? It's
Yeah, I
intelligence.
think
It's
int.
not faith.
Yeah.
All right, we're halfway to my big giant bonk sword. So Pinxel were discussing this, like, what is our aim? What is our goal for this playthrough? Are we just gonna do a regular ass playthrough? You know, she was just like, I like having goals, or like not feeling lost all the time. So I'm just like, you know what? I am missing an ending that I am not going to have after I finish my RL1. So we're gonna be going for the regular Elden Lord ending or the Ronnie ending, because you can get both. And this is kind of like, for me, I'm going to be 100%ing the game with this run because I am missing one legendary sorcery. Where did you end up going?
So behind the building that we like walk out of was a somber smithing stone.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a pretty monumental victory for me at the end of the day. And I think I want to use that big bonk sword that I just acquired, but I just have to, get there. I have to get to the stats for it.
Yeah.
It'll come down the line. I'm just gonna have no Vigor for the most of the
No Vigor. Okay.
No Vigor.
So we did that. So technically we're supposed to talk to the guy and tell him that we, like, saved his castle, but I don't quite...
Can I tell him I saved his cat soul?
His cat soul? Sure,
Yeah.
if you want to. I think we have to go up this ladder.
Yeah, I think he would appreciate that. I think he's just like, you know what? My cat is...
His cat soul is just...
He ain't doing great.
Yeah.
He ain't doing great.
He's not doing the best.
Alright, I'm gonna kill this guy, though. I didn't want to kill this guy. There's a bird.
The bird, not the bird.
There's a Tweety bird! They're throwing things at me. But I'm immune. I'm immune to projectiles. Mice! You're dealing so much more damage than me right now.
Yeah. It'll drop off, though, don't worry.
Ooh, whip me.
Whoa.
I died. Death by rats, what's new, right? I was cornered. I was surrounded.
Oh my god, rat.
Yeah.
You alive still? Oh.
Pretty rats. No, I
No, not you, the rat.
Oh, I was about to say, I perished in the war. Alright, you're doing
How did
good.
that miss?
So, we're gonna go look for a guy, is what you said?
Yeah, there's like the guy whose castle this is.
One dude-flavored guy, huh?
One dude-flavored guy. I've got my music all day, don't worry.
we have to have the French names, you know.
Yeah.
I spawned right
Okay,
here.
perfect.
And I'm gonna go pick up my runeys. Because it lights up the place. You know,
Oh my gosh, I got jellies.
I've lost at least 2 million runes in my RL1.
Yeah.
I value my runes now.
Oh, we have to go all the way around because we can't. Okay.
Can we just warp back to another?
Yeah.
Behind the castle.
Yeah.
I'm behind the castle.
Okay.
Alrighty. I have no idea where this guy is. I have no idea who you are referring to.
There's
so.
a man. There's a man.
Can I smell him from afar?
Probably.
Yeah. I bet he hasn't showered in a minute.
No, I bet everybody in this game hasn't showered in a minute.
God, imagine how Radigan smells.
No, thank you.
What's up, Meadow? Unbumps my goose.
Absolutely no, thank you. Hi, Dave. How you doing? Welcome in.
I bet Radigan smells like he's been char grilled.
He probably smells very, I don't even know, musty.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't have, like, I don't have half a chest to scrub. Why would I waste the time to do it?
Yeah.
Do you know where this smelling man is?
I went back to the castle lift because I believe we have to go up the ramparts, which I don't think we can do from the behind.
Let us do that.
Yeah. We'll find him. We'll find him. We'll find him.
Yes, we will.
We shall find him. Don't you worry.
Collectively, together at once,
Mm-hmm.
he will be discovered. Did you pull it?
I did. It's right here. I'm on it. I'm standing.
Oh. It's not there for me.
Oh, really? Okay. Let me go up and... Oh. I was gonna say let me go up and send it back down to you, but...
I thought that it was a lie. I thought that there was a liar ahead.
The cake is a lie.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm sending it down to you.
I really want to get one of those shirts that says "Behold, dog."
I know. I want so much Elden Ring stuff. I just want Elden Ring forever.
Push? I did get pushed off, didn't I? I'm slowly getting, like, I've been getting kind of pissed off at my RL1 and a lot of the things to do with the game. But I'm sure that once I'm done with everything, I'm going to be like, yeah, one of the greats.
One of the greats.
I'll change my opinion.
Can you actually fuck off, Doc?
No.
Cheese Louise. Oh, we didn't fight Pumpkinhead. We went around. That's why we didn't.
Yeah. I went up the rubble. Do we need to go fight
Busted!
Pumpkinhead?
Yes, because we have to go up the ramparts backwards that way.
Oh, I see. Let's go fuck him up.
Hi, friendo. Money, please. Thank you so much, Busted.
Oh, boy.
Busted, thank you for
come here,
29 months. How you doing? How's things hanging?
There we go.
Good to see you. Thank you for being here.
I'm gonna ruin this old man's career. Wow, this game is so easy.
Amazing. This game is easy.
I've never encountered difficulty in this game at all.
You've oh, okay.
Not a single time.
This game has never once been difficult.
My bitch.
Oh yeah? I'm really good, Busted. Thank you so much.
I shouldn't talk about Malekith in such ways. I think he hears me.
Listen. Bosses should not be allowed to be as fast as Malekith is.
The thing is, I was watching like a reference thing because I'm like, I know I'm doing something wrong. And you can hit Malekith like as his first attack, and I can stagger him if I get lucky.
Uh-huh.
And then I can kill him with the critical that I get off the stagger.
Okay, so...
But I have to get lucky with it.
Is it here?
Is it not? Well, I mean, somebody's been here. I don't know where you went.
I just went straight down.
Straight down.
Yeah, drop down.
Let's go. I'm driven up to Kipsville. I hope you and Lena have a good time. I'm playing with Pinxel. So we're not playing with Lena. Lena is being her chaotic self and eating dinner right now.
How?
Yes,
that's so chaotic. Oh my gosh, Lena. I can't believe you would eat dinner. That's
she has been typing in all caps for like 30 minutes. And I'm just like, having an episode, are we? And she's like, uh-huh.
All right. What?
The pin chat. Oh yeah, Lena pinned the chat.
Oh wait, we didn't go this way because.
There we go. Come on.
Hello, man.
Disappeared.
Man.
Is there a man? Aw, man.
You have to speak to man though, I think.
I don't know where he is.
How do I keep losing you? Hello.
Because I am but a trodden soul. Hello, beard.
Hello, man.
Okay, they gave me good service. I like your beard, dude.
Can we kill him for his armor?
Sure.
No. Thank
I
you
got a
for the
sacrificial
twig. Thank you for the stick.
Can I not kill him?
We don't. He doesn't do anything. He provides no quests after this. I can't target him, so you have to do the. You have to do it. Goodbye,
God, this game is
Edgar.
so fucking easy. Easy game for babies. I just got a halberd.
Thank you
That's all
for
I
your
got.
+8 halberd.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
I kind of want to use it.
It's a +8 banished knight halberd.
I can use this.
Go for it. It'll
All
probably
right, I'm
be
using
way
it.
more than what you've got.
Yeah, absolutely will be.
Oh my gosh.
Hell
that's so
yeah. All right, later, Edgar.
funny. Okay. So
I don't
guess
feel any.
We can.
It's weird. Normally, I feel remorse for killing people while they're sitting.
Yeah, but you feel no remorse for that? That's
I
fine,
feel
that's
nothing.
fair. That's
I might be
fair.
becoming a sociopath.
Yeah, I mean that happens to the best of us, really. All right, we
Yeah,
have to
sometimes,
go.
Sometimes you just become a sociopath.
We have to find Blythe, who is. I want to say he's like here.
I don't know where here is. I am not a sociopath for killing people on that are sitting down defenseless and hopeless.
Go to the south of the lookout tower, Grace.
Oh lord. Oh, okay, that one. Okay.
Yeah. I believe it's close to there. We're looking for the Mistwood ruins or mist something.
We've already found the mist begotten.
Not mist begotten. So it's either there or there. Let's go over here first. Let's try 2 first.
I thought it was funny.
Mist begotten.
The mist begotten. Yeah. I don't know. I try to be funny,
I
and
just
only
feel like
a
that joke
select
missed.
few lucky people remember that I am. And they're like, "Why is that a bad joke?" Yeah, I knew May was about to boo me there. Okay. All right. It's a video game. That's literally the point. What? Kill people while they're sitting?
Forest ruins. This is not the way. This is not the way. Do you know the way?
This is not the way.
Do
You do not know the way. Ooh, can we kill the demi-human goddess?
Yeah, I'm
leader?
looking for the entrance to go down, which I think is over here.
This is not the way.
This
This
is not the
is
way.
the way.
Here she is. She's over here.
I booed, yet I laugh. Yo, whoa. No. You can't boo me and still laugh. No. Absolutely not. No.
One or the other.
Yeah, you only...
Oh, I'm gonna be dead. I gotta get off my horse.
I'm dealing, like, a little bit more damage than before.
What'd you put your bloodhound up to?
Like 1.
Oh, jeez, really?
I don't know what I was at.
Okay,
Yes, you can.
Okay.
No, that's like forbidden. It's like bad joke 101, like etiquette. You can't laugh and
Bad
still say your joke was bad.
etiquette.
If you laugh, it's an automatic thumbs up.
I mean, okay, I feel like a laugh, yes, but like a chortle could be like, that was a bad joke.
A chortle?
You know.
You know, all right.
You gotta
You know where I first
specify.
learned about the word chortle?
Oh, Crystal Burst. Let's go.
There was a game. It was like Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story.
I think
And he
made
talked
that up.
like one of the rare XD emo girls from the
Oh,
mid
God.
2000s.
Yeah.
And he would, instead of saying like ha ha ha, he would say I am have chortles. And
God.
I was like, what the fuck is a chortle? And that's why video games are
Yeah.
educational, because they teach us in RAR XD language that a chortle is an actual word. What is my Bloodhound Fang at? It's at base. That's why.
Oh.
It didn't level it up at all.
Oh.
That explains it.
That explains it.
all.
Oh, hi. No.
Hi, friend.
No.
Bird
no,
person.
No.
A clean 1,000 damage.
Don't do that to me, please.
All
Alright.
right.
So this was not the right ruins. So let's go.
No, but we got
southeast.
you a crystal burst. We got you.
We did.
want
I'll
all
have
the
to go to
sorceries
the-
that we can get for you.
Yeah, we'll have to go to a Grace. I can put that on in a minute.
Ooh, and I need to level up.
Y'all. Thank you for the root raisin. Arba. Where does this go?
I really wanted to kill the plants, so I got off my horse and attacked them.
Oh, poor Miranda. She's just trying to live her best life.
God, I had to fight Miranda, and I was just like, I'm ready for a hard-fought battle. Nah, I wrecked her.
Poor Miranda.
Me and my spiky balls did a lot of work there.
All right.
Hey, you remember this bridge, right?
I do. For no reason, though.
No reason.
No reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, I might have forgotten something.
What?
No, I think I didn't. No, maybe I did.
Where the heck are these?
I can't make up my mind. Which is it? Is it north or south?
Ruins.
Is it east or west?
Ruins.
I'm having a hard. Can't remember.
Are you Grace? Hello,
Alright,
Grace?
I'm just gonna follow you then.
Oh, we already got this, Grace. Oh, I can put my new thing on. Memorize
Yeah, we've been here
spell.
before.
There we go.
I remember.
First
I do
burst.
remember.
Okay.
I remember where you fell. I've been
I've
turning
never
around
fallen in my life. Don't
eloquent
tell
fashion.
lies.
I'm turning around in eloquent fashion.
I've never fallen in my life.
Not even down the stairs?
No, I've never fallen.
I've never fallen down the stairs either. I've always been afraid that it was like a certain death sentence. It's one of my like irrational fears. I'm like, I am going
Oh my
to
god,
break my
you're
neck
gonna
and die.
yeah, you're gonna fall and break your neck. So okay,
Absolutely
that was a
am going
lie.
to.
I have fallen down the stairs, specifically
neck.
because my dog Gigi, R.I.P.
Yeah.
Used to knock me like she used to like step in front of my feet all the time.
You know, that happens. Onyx likes to lay directly in the doorways of things. You did as a kid, May? You fell down the stairs?
Never trip
did
over
you break
Jack.
your neck
No,
as a
not
kid?
usually. He's afraid
Hold
of getting
on.
stepped on, so he doesn't usually step like in people's like way.
Level up our strength. We're working towards our weapon here. I want to see what my spin to win does.
Oh, hi.
No, you were fine. Okay.
Warming stone. What this? Hello. Great turtle shell. Oh my god, you can be a ninja turtle.
Teenage. My buddy, his second playthrough of Elden Ring ever, did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle playthrough. Where did you go? I'm so sorry.
Take the spirit spring, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
stand on this roof.
Okay. But he dressed as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and also had the theme song
Oh my
playing
gosh.
the entire time for like 6 hours.
That's great.
And I'm like, you are a more powerful warrior than I.
All right.
The Great Turtle Shell makes me heavy.
Oh,
As
so these
expected.
ruins possibly are directly behind us?
Okay.
Does anyone in chat, where are the Mistwood ruins and why am I losing my mind?
I wish that it would, like, if we found it in another save file on the same, like, if we own the game, we have another
Yeah.
save file, we should have an option to have the map markers show up.
Yeah. What is this rise here?
One rise coming up.
One rise.
One rise to rule them all.
Oridius's rise. Let's see what the book says.
Who the fuck is that? Why is his name so
Seek
pretentious?
3 wise beasts. Oh, they're right here. Here's one.
What are you doing? You killed a dog!
You have to. Just the magic ones.
It's not worth it.
Just the magic ones. They are worth it. They are.
Oh,
worth it.
I remember now. There's a turtle in a tree, right?
Yeah, and one of them's invisible in the water. You'll have to get the invisible one because I can't target it. Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh,
at
I
the
just have to
trees.
mash the click.
Well, he'll make little splashes.
Oh, I saw a puddle.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
That
And
is
then
an
the third
animation
one.
I am going to hell for making you guys see.
Tree
Where's the,
turtle. Where are you?
Where's the... I love the tree turtle. He's the one that I want.
I can't see him. Tree turtle. Tree turtle.
Does he show up from afar? Oh, tree turtle!
Um,
Moo! Leave the turtles. So Thundus, they're
It's
spirit
just
turtles. They're
pixels.
not actually real. They're just they're a puzzle, and we need it to get into the door. Trust me, I was opposed to.
Yeah,
but
I don't kill any of the turtles.
I've
other
never
than the-
killed a dog in my life.
Other than the magic
Turtle soup,
ones.
yeah.
Where
Think of it
the
that way. Like,
heck?
think of the good dinner that we're gonna have.
Am I losing my mind? Like,
Thundus, they're cum colored. Of course I know. I thought this was, or was that the one where there's 5?
no, it's this one. But don't know. Poor Kay.
Okay.
Like,
where is the last dog?
I feel like it. When you're looking at it, you can like very blatantly see it, but I don't know how far you need like far away. It shows up. Welcome to
That was
playing
a
with
bird.
Pink, where everything is a target. Only in this game.
It's on my back, right?
Everything in this game is trying to kill me, so it's only fair.
Yeah.
It's only fair. What the heck?
I don't know. I haven't been here in a long time.
No, like
I just remember the tree turtle, the tree dog,
yeah.
and the American bird here.
American bird, yeah, that's the one. Alright. I feel like I'm losing my mind because...
Oh, you probably are.
That too.
Oh, you forgot to
here.
remind me of something. You need
that.
to... Thundus, you need to talk to April.
I did it.
I didn't forget.
I did it.
You need to talk to April. Post haste. First thing in the morning, actually. Fuck, you're right. I did forget. Yep.
I hope there's something amazing in here.
There better be. It better be a really cool... I know. There better be a big
Oh,
dog.
a memory stone! For all the
Ooh, that's
spells
good
that I
for
don't
you.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good for you.
Alright. So, that's done.
Yep.
So I guess we can head to Liurnia now.
Ooh, now we can finally start fighting the Deathrite birds.
Y'all.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Do we want to go to lake facing
No,
cliffs
I
then?
lied. We are still trying to find Blythe. I just totally got stupid ADD.
Oh, we're finding another dog.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, there's an Everjail over there.
Ooh, I like
Alright,
Everjails.
I feel like I'm actually losing my mind right now. Where the hell are the Mist
Probably.
Rooms? Mist?
I don't know. Melons, what's up, Batpole? Batpole, bleh. Sorry. I am a melon appreciator. Do we want to go to this Everjail?
Oh,
Maybe
Mistwood
these are the
Ruins
Mistwood
isn't in
Ruins.
the peninsula. It's just a little bit further north. Okay. Actually, I don't know why I
Oh.
thought it was in the peninsula. Okay.
Do we want to go to Church of Pilgrimage and go to this Everjail?
Oh, wait. Did we get to the, what is this? In the little half circle thing over here. What are these called?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's just star shards.
Oh, okay. Sorry, where did you say to go?
There's an Everjail over off to the left a little bit that we can get to through the Church of Pilgrimage.
Yeah, I got wolves though. Hold on.
Dogs.
Yeah.
No, those are turtles.
These are wolves.
Yeah, I can't do anything. What's up, Apple? How you doing, bud?
Okay, let's just rest this
You're
grace.
so much faster than I am.
I'm
Maybe
on a horse.
I should get on my horns.
Hornst.
Hornsted of.
Hello, guys. Hello,
Oh,
guys.
I didn't know that we hadn't activated this yet.
Nope. Okay, let me
All right,
see.
I want to go to the Church of Pilgrimage and then go south, like due southwest to this Everjail.
Okay.
I love Everjails. I think they're fun. Dude, okay, just in bed, eventually go to sleep, but hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
You got soaked in a thunderstorm? Yeah, it was raining when I went outside to put my mom's chickens away.
I want chickens so bad. I want to own a home and have like 3 chickens.
I want to own a home. Period.
Oh,
End of sentence.
Yeah, that's true too. That's true too.
End of sentence.
Thank you for the quid.
Hold on, I've got Melina. Oh, just telling me what
I don't-
America says. Yeah.
I don't want to talk to Melina. I think that she and I are on bad terms right now.
McAuffle, good to see you. How you doing? Welcome in. I saw you playing something. Medieval Dynasty. How you doing? How's Medieval
I love
Dynasty
something.
treating
It's
you?
one of my favorite games.
Well, I was gonna say something that I have been playing recently, but I got,
Oh,
you know.
hey, look at this dog.
Oh, behold, dog.
What should I do to it?
You should
Leave it
ignore
alone?
it. Leave it alone.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will. He's in nature. Isn't nature just beautiful?
It's quite addictive. I liked Medieval Dynasty, but I found that I struggled to advance like really bad. Like none of my townspeople
Really?
want to do anything ever. but then they
Oh.
just want to complain
I'm
about
going down
that
these
they
stairs
don't
and this
have
little
anything
ruined
to
thing.
do. And I'm like, just do your thing then. Also, in Medieval Dynasty, did you find the little girl who says, "Don't worry, I didn't poop my trousers"? Because that's
What?
funny. Yeah, there's a little girl in Medieval Dynasty, and she's just an NPC, but she's like, and when I say little girl, I mean like she's like a toddler, and she like waddles when she walks
Oh,
around.
okay.
And she's like, "Don't worry, I didn't poop my trousers. I just walk like this."
Oh my god, that's horrific.
It's so stupid. How's Elden Ring treating you? Amazing. I'm living in my Elden Ring era right now.
Where is that torch that I had earlier? There it is.
Winged Scythe.
Oh, wait, what? You found something? Oh,
Yeah.
I was looking at the wrong wall. I was like over here, being like, where do
I
was I?
go?
Yeah, I was over here, and I'm like, where's the fucking door? It's
funny.
not here. And so I equipped a torch.
They do work, but they need some skilling up before they. Yeah, I need to invest more time in it. Honestly, is what it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay. Hold on. Can you not?
Oh, this is the stone sword key one.
I hear mausoleum.
Yep. Gong gong.
Gong. He scared me
I'm ready.
so bad the first time.
Yeah,
If you play the
I
game,
was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna go whack his feet. And then he stepped on me and I died.
Weeping
horrifically. And I was like,
Evergale.
leveled up. Yeah, let's go.
Game can be a lot more
Oh,
manageable to
what-
play with a friend. I bet. I just don't have any friends who have it at the mo.
Why are you dead again?
I don't know.
Okay, well.
It's doing the thing again, I think. 'Cause you can
Oh,
walk
it is
through
doing. Wait. I will protect you.
Ancient Hero of Zamor. This is so wild that this happens. I feel like I live in a different world. Oh, I feel like in a different world I could be a villain. Like, so many make really good points. I mean,
Yeah.
there are some who really believe that they're doing what is best. I
This
know.
is
I'm
why
like
I think
dancing with them.
Zahir from Korra is like the best villain ever.
I feel like Evergaol's broke with the last update in this mod.
Maybe.
Because, yeah, I didn't have this problem when I was playing with
Oh,
Yaga.
she's frosty now. That's cold.
So what? Is
Like
it
I'm
like,
back in North Dakota.
did I go in before you, or did I go in
We
at
went
the
in
same
at like the
time?
same time. It was crazy.
Yeah,
But
so-
I'm here. I'm here. Don't fret.
No, I'm not worried. I'm just curious, like, how this, like, how we prevent it from happening.
Yeah.
Because I want to, like, play too.
Never.
The best villains are always the one who are convinced they are the good guys. Yeah, I like a good conflicted villain.
I like
who's,
yeah. I like a good villain who's got a point.
Yeah. Like, as terrible as he was, like, Thanos, like, really genuinely thought he was doing what was best
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
like, humanity and stuff.
Like the universe.
Yeah. Balancing the universe and stuff. In all my days of
Come
Elden
on.
Ring, I've never seen this happen. It's unfortunately, it is a glitch with
A
the
seamless thing.
the seamless co-op mod, yeah. It's okay. Envoy's got it.
I hope. Come on.
Yeah, instead of
It's not so seamless.
summoning per
There's so many seams.
boss battle, the seamless co-op just like makes it so like this player 2 is just there the entire time.
Whoa! How did he miss? Suck. That's why.
No, is he gonna hit me? Let him hit me. Oh, did
I
he
would
get
never let him.
Ah! Free!
Oh, him hitting you activated you.
Ah, free!
You got the dub.
Let's go!
Hell yeah. Oh, we got a really good white item too. You did it. You
I
did,
did
it.
it!
That was all you.
That was so
Hell
funny.
yeah. Let's go.
I've used seamless co-op. I've never seen this happen. Yeah, it's so they
Hell yeah, Pixel.
the mod came
Exclamation Pixel.
the mod went offline when the DLC came out, obviously. And so it had to be, the mod had to be like pretty much, thank you.
Done from the ground up.
It had to be like reworked from the ground up. So since they've re-released the mod after the DLC, there have been a couple glitches. They are literally already on patch number 9 of the
Jeez,
the
really?
DLC.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're ironing it out. They're finding it.
Yeah. I'm at the church.
Yeah, I'm here.
There's stuff here.
There's always
Got a sacred
stuff.
tear.
Okay.
I used all my heals, my jelly.
You did so good.
But you came in clutch.
You did so good.
You really came in clutch there, and I appreciate that a lot.
My one little glintstone pebble at the end there.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
appreciate that a lot. All right.
Okay, so
where is our heading?
There are ruins directly south of us. Is that what we just did? No, that's
we got to the
mausoleum
Fourth
right
Church of
there.
America, so
Yeah.
we can go south. It looks a little poisony.
Yeah.
Right, poison.
Let's get this mausoleum.
Poison.
Oh, how am I gonna mausoleum? Hold on.
Especially to kill Radagon. Poison.
Radagon's poison.
Bad poison.
Isma, put your hands above this. I can't do it. I have to do it with my
What is this? The Witchbane ruins?
Oh, we need to
There's
go
a
in
big
there.
head.
Yeah,
There's a
we
big
need to go.
head.
Yeah, hold on. Wait. We need to go into Witchbane. Where did you go? You didn't
I went to
mausoleum with
Witchbane.
me. No. You didn't mausoleum with me.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. It's okay.
It's okay. We need to go in the Witchbane ruins for Selalalalen. Hi.
Yeah. Okay.
Why are you here?
Yeah,
I don't
there's a
like
big,
you.
there's a big, big head going on
He
there.
shoots magic.
Ooh, exploding.
He shoots magic. I'm stuck. I believe, if I remember right, I believe there's a pumpkin head in here.
Yes.
Okay.
He guards Selen.
Yeah.
Selen.
I don't know.
I'm gonna do this.
Wait, where's the pumpkin?
Oh, I've never been in here. What
Oh,
the fuck?
this is her real. Oh, spoilers! This is Selen's real body. Oops.
Is this DLC stuff?
No. Oh no. Have you never done Selen's entire quest?
No.
Oh yeah, the body that teaches, like the body that the pumpkin head is guarding is a puppet controlled by
Oh, I got you. Yo, Chloe, what's up, friend? Welcome.
No,
in.
it is not DLC stuff. Absolutely.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, you can't do anything with her until you have her glintstone.
All right, the spin to win weapon art for the halberd here is insane.
Yes.
I just killed the shit out of that thing.
I don't like crystal burst. I'm not gonna lie here.
All right, cool. Chloe, how's it going?
Okay.
Long time no see. What the fuck is going on over here?
These marionettes, bro.
Brev.
Bruv.
Oh, I thought that was you slaying the villain.
Bruv. Oh, I was
Wasn't.
slaying, but the marionettes. Well, marionettes are
you
my
got a little
favorite
slayed
spirit
there.
summons later.
Oh,
Once we
really?
get them.
Okay.
Yeah, the marionettes are so good. Well, other than the mimic,
Wow,
obviously.
I have never been down there. I have never seen that little Selen thing.
That's crazy. Yeah, so spoiler at the end of Selen's quest, you find out that she's like one of Celavis's like puppets, like one of those like fake puppets, whatever you call
really?
it.
Okay.
And she'll ask you to take her heart and put it back into her real body.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so metal.
Yeah, so yeah, that's
You picked up my bruv.
where we go later.
I want to hear your bruv later. You know, the typical dying because dance and life in college. And yeah, you're staying busy, though. Staying busy.
Fire King, how
Glad
you
you're
doing?
doing all right,
Welcome
Chloe.
in. Good to see you.
I want this Vihander.
Zvander. Zewie Wander. Zewie Wander. Zewie Wander.
The Zewie Hander, yeah.
That's what we're calling it now for the rest of this playthrough.
Zewie
The
Hander.
Zewie
Yeah.
Hander.
Help
When
the
is my
Zewie
stream
Hander.
anniversary? I start Saturday, but technically actual day, like the actual day is the 23rd. 4 years. Can you guys believe I've been doing this 4 years? Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, my 4
Oh,
years
it's a lantern. I
kind
want
of
this.
came up in April as well. I only realized it because, like, I have some folks that have been subbed to me, like, since the very beginning, just, like, as their regular, like, Prime support.
Mm.
And my longest is about to hit 48 months, like, this coming month.
Insane.
and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. But it also tells me that my time here, the Ziwi Mama, I like the Ziwi Mama. All right, I really want this, but I don't have enough.
Just do it.
Gold.
Just do it. You don't have
I
any runes to sell?
I have 76.
No, you don't have any runes to sell, golden runes?
I have 1,200. I have 2,200. That's all the consumable runes that I've got.
Sell some robo fruit or something.
Some fruit.
Some fruit.
Aye, some fruit.
Some fruit.
Fruit. All right. So, ooh. No, I'm gonna want the somber smithing stones, aren't I? How much is my baby sword? 3,500. Do I have enough thing? I have some ashes of war.
I mean, we can go kill some stuff.
I can sell some weapons that I'll never touch.
There's a bunch of skellies over here. Let's skelly them up.
I could sell the golden halberd that we got from the tree sentinel.
Oh my gosh.
That's 500.
Oh my gosh. Can I? It's. Never mind. I want to say something that they added in the DLC that's not a spoiler, but like it is, but it's not.
I mean, if it's an item, it's a spoiler. If it's not in base game, it's a spoiler. I had this, had a small issue with it last night.
Yeah. That's why I was about to be like, oh, they did blah blah blah, but then I caught myself.
That's fine. That's fine.
I caught myself.
Yeah, check yourself. Okay.
I did. I caught myself.
Are you still standing?
I am.
You're a warrior. All right, some little skellies. I feel like I'm fighting a bunch of orphan of causes.
Just sounded like, I feel like I'm fighting a bunch of orphans.
They would go down a lot easier if that was the case.
You heard it here first, guys. Envoy will punch every orphan in the face.
I would punch them in the face. I think their face is still like in development, and I don't want to like permanently injure them.
I mean, not all orphans are infants, Envoy. That's ageist, okay?
You're right. I know one. Oh man, I might get an earful later.
Oh no.
Oh, that's funny.
Every time we stream together, you just keep getting in trouble.
I'm just getting, starting now.
Oh,
all right.
Do you have enough runes yet? I've killed so many skeletons.
No, I am at the little graveyard area, and now I'm collecting consumable runes.
Yeah, but you should still be getting these runes that I'm killing people.
You are. You're doing great. I might have enough now. Let's go find out. All right. All right. Inventory. I have 1,800.
Sir. Did you just put your head down and just dodge my magic?
34. I do have enough.
Amazing. Oh shit!
I want to use the Ziwi Mama.
Ziwi hander.
Yeah. Is there something I didn't hear because I was paying attention that I need to be mad about? No. What?
Who? The answer is just yes. Just always be mad. Just live your life angry.
Jesus, no. Could never. Just be in a perpetual
just live
state
your
of anger.
angry truth, okay?
Your angry truth. Jesus Christ. All right, I have enough for my Ziwi Mama.
Ziwi hander? Okay, good, because I'm out of magic. I guess I could Mizak all day then.
We just have like the most foreign names.
How do you say it then?
Wait, what is it?
Mizak all day.
Mizak. All right. All right, I have a big bonk sword. I'm happy. Where are we heading?
Where is our heading? I am dead.
You're dead.
because my Mizak all day doesn't do enough damage.
I will get an earful later. No. Because Lena is an orphan.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that...
No, we're not laughing.
I'm laughing at the fact that it even came up.
I was talking about like how orphans have developing faces that I don't want to punish, and she just and Pinxel was like,
not all
orphans aren't all just kids, and I'm just like, oh shit, you're right. Yeah.
Oh god, they're not all infants.
Right. They're not all infants. but like they can be grown too. All right, where are we?
I'm just getting my
going?
runes, and then we're gonna head to
Oh,
towards
okay.
Liurnia. Well,
Okay,
we
okay.
have to go. Yeah, we still gotta get Blythe, and then we have to find Sellen's body. Well, Sellen's fake body.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
I think she would laugh about it because if she were like here right now, she'd be like, "Hello, I'm right here."
I can hear you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, I don't know where to go, so I'm just gonna wait for you.
I went to Agia Lake South. I said.
I am at Agia Lake North. Where is Agia Lake South? Everyone wants me to make a wish list of Dr. Pepper soda and American treats I want to try, and my mind has blanked. Please help later. Okay. I have Dr. Pepper already.
Ooh. You gotta try the dirty Dr. Pepper, though. Have you had it yet?
What's the dirty Dr. Pepper? What's the dirty Dr.
Okay, so dirty Dr. Pepper. Hear me out. Like, it sounds not good, but it slaps, okay?
All right. Are you listening to this? Okay.
It is Dr. Pepper with cream and coconut
losing me real quick.
and lime. But it doesn't taste like any of those things.
Give me the portions. Like
like
a full bottle of Dr. Pepper with
you
like
go
a shot.
You go to Sonic and you order a dirty Dr. Pepper, and those are the promotions.
Oh, I don't have a Sonic anywhere near me.
No, I know, but Sonic. So, Dr. Pepper actually like makes it in a can. It's the Dr. Pepper creamy coconut is what the.
Oh.
Yeah. I am not a big coconut drinker.
I hate coconut
fan.
That's another problem for me.
But it's not very coconutty. Honestly, somehow the balance of all of those flavors like really, really works, and it doesn't taste like any of those things separately, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't taste like coconut, and it doesn't taste like cream, and it doesn't taste like lime. It tastes like I would say it's like a root beer float with like a kick. That creamy coconut Dr. Pepper is to die for, isn't it, Rachel? It's so
I have
good.
I picked up a cream soda Dr. Pepper and a strawberries and cream. Have you had the strawberry?
I love the strawberries and cream.
The strawberries and cream Dr. Pepper is fucking
it slaps.
It's
it's
good.
fucking fire, dude.
It's actually fantastic. If you had proposed that to me in the meeting of like what Dr. Pepper flavor should we introduce next, I would have shot you down.
I probably would have said the same. I probably would have been like strawberry Dr. Pepper, like no thank you.
Ew, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I tried the dirty Dr. Pepper from Sonic a couple months ago, and I am absolutely obsessed.
Okay.
Like, it has no right being as good as it is for, like, what all those combination of flavors is.
Sure. I'm gonna open the store.
Yeah. What is? No!
Oh,
fuck! Oh, that was so close!
Can it get me?
No.
Where does that go?
It goes into Caelid.
This is Celia? Oh no, this is... Okay, I know where we are. Yeah, love Caelid. My favorite vacation home. I didn't think you could avoid that.
You can, yeah, if you're fast enough, you can pull away from it. This is funny.
My Zweihander is so sick.
Zweihander.
My Ziwi mama. My Kiwi mother.
My Kiwi mother.
Mm-hmm.
I made a joke one time about...
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's it, just once, just one. I've never made another joke again in my life.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
No, Astro was playing Ghost of Tsushima one time.
Yeah.
And I said Ghost of Sushi Mother, like Tsushima.
Sushi Mother, yeah. Sushi Mama.
So I call it Sushi Mother, and he had to mute from laughing so hard, and he to this day still swears that he did not find it funny, and I was like, bitch, you had to mute because you were laughing.
Yeah, admit
like,
it where it's
get outta
due.
here.
You know? Oh, there's a big dragon here.
Yeah, there is.
All right, let's go fuck him up. I'm out of my jellyfish though.
He's here. He's arrived.
Mech Wahlberg says,
Kiwi
why do
mother,
they call it
it's,
oven when you have in the cold food about hot eat the
dead.
food?
Not dead. Ooh, almost dead.
When you of in the cold food of out hot food, eat the food. Are you okay? Are you okay,
What?
Mark?
Has anyone really
Why
been
do they
forward
call it
decided?
oven when you of in the cold food, of out the hot, eat the food?
Yo, Moss, what's up, buddy?
Mark, welcome in. How are you?
Why do they call it the oven when you... God damn it. That is way funnier than it deserves to be. Oh my god.
Oh god.
That's incredibly terrible.
Oh god.
Leather goat.
Ooh, my face. It hurts. Oh.
I avoided that.
Slapped me
I
with
fought
his
these things
wang.
a few times.
He
And I
slapped
did
me
not
with his
avoid that.
wang.
I'm gonna die. Didn't die again, because I'm
Cherry
a baller.
Pepsi. I respect your opinion, but no.
I love cherry Pepsi.
I respect your wrong opinion. Get him in the eye. Get him in the eye.
I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna bleed him.
Oh, okay, that too. Look at his tail. Dave knows.
Oh, I'm out of magic.
Dave knows about the back.
Come on, come on, come on. Let's go. All right, 1, 2. All right, all right, all right. Oh, he's going after you. Dodge this.
Yeah.
You're a-
What? Okay.
You know, I believed in you.
I
I really thought you
sorry.
could do that.
I'm sorry.
I'm kidding, of course. I'm getting yelled at right now by Lizard Man.
To be fair, I've been just dropping all of my points into my int and not into my health.
Okay. Yeah, not into any defenses. You're just like,
Nope.
listen, I am going
Listen,
to
I
be
just-
smarter than this
Glass
person.
cannon.
Yo, driver, what's good, dude?
Glass
Kick their ass, I'm trying.
cannon. Thank you, Horseman.
I'm not getting any bleed procs. I really want a bleed proc.
That'd be nice. A bleed proc would be nice.
What the fuck is a Vigor? I don't know.
A Vigor?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, a Vigor.
A Vigor?
A Vigor.
A Vigor. It
that's-
sounds like
that's my
a.
son.
Isn't that?
Never
Isn't
speak to
that?
my son again.
Isn't that the? It's alive. Vigor.
Yeah.
It's
You're
alive.
packing? Are you moving, driver? What are you packing for?
No, he's just
Are you
packing
tracking
his
what I'm
heat.
packing? Oh, he's packing the heat, like the dragon is.
Yeah, he's
Did he
packing
die
that
again?
heat.
Or did you just never come back? I can't. Okay, I was about to say I haven't gotten a single bleed proc.
A Pichu. Pichu, Pichu.
All right, don't breathe on me.
Don't breathe.
There we go. God, I hate mouth breathers. Wait, does that mean I hate dragons?
Okay, this is kind of fucked up, but I just got a friend request on Facebook from my dead grandfather.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So that's fucked up that someone has made an account of him.
I get Facebook friends from my dead uncle all the time. All right, it's me and him against the world.
Let's go, let's go.
Got him. Right, you came in clutch again. I'm so proud of you.
Hey yo, that's fucked. Hey yo.
I'm so proud of you. You
have
did
to touch
so
a grace.
good.
Thank you. I did wonderful. Yeah.
Where is the nearest grass? Is this where we want to be?
I can't look at the map because I'm dead.
Oh, oops.
Facebook is the worst for real, honestly. I hate that I have to have Facebook to have an Instagram.
Oh, dude, is that the case, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Meta.
I just got the notification that you died.
Yeah, it's stupid. Facebook's
Rip.
pretty bad, yeah.
It's like so bad these days. Like I get nothing but targeted ads and very rarely see anything my friends share or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, this is awful. And like Instagram for a while was like nothing but terrible stuff. But then
I want to go get my Roonies.
it got a little bit better. Actually, where are we headed? Where are we going?
We are going to go east from like where we are. I just want to grab my runes real quick.
I want to upgrade my Bloodhound Fang at some point.
You can go to the round table.
Okay.
We don't need to travel with each other anymore.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
The algorithm. I know, it really sucks. It's so stupid. I was actually talking to my therapist today because like she's like, you know, like what like how do you consider yourself like successful like in streaming? Because you know I was explaining to her like what streaming is and stuff like that, and she doesn't know anything about it. So she was just like asking me. She's like, you know, like what is like what
are the markers of success?
Yeah, like you know, like you're celebrating your anniversary, like anniversary of what? Like anniversary of the first time you streamed or what? And I was, you know, so I was explaining to her like how you get affiliated and stuff like that. And she's like, that seems very like achievable. That seems very reasonable. And I was like, yeah, but you know, you'd be shocked how many people can't achieve that. Like, you'd be genuinely surprised how many people can't actually achieve that. And so I was trying to explain to her like, yeah, like the algorithm, like, you know, there's no discoverability and you have to do all this outside work. And like, you know, there's like so many different levels of success. It's not just go live
and people will come in droves. It's nothing like that.
So, but like, you know, she doesn't realize that because she's got a very young son who watches YouTube. So she's like, in her mind, she's like, you know, go live, people watch. And I'm like, it is so far off of that. Because like, you know,
she only knows about the people who are really big. And then I had like somebody on Twitter at one point was just like, what do you consider a big streamer? And I was just like, anybody over 1,000 CCV is considered big. Like
to you,
a
in your
normal
opinion?
person. No, to a regular run-of-the-mill person. Somebody was saying, I think we've talked about this before, but somebody was saying a long time ago that I work with, he's just like, oh, he's not that big. And I go to his channel, he's got 1,500 people watching him. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, okay. I consider anybody over 100 CCV to be a big streamer.
Honestly, I feel like if you have earned partner, you're a big streamer, because that means at some point you had 75 average.
Right. And that's a ton of people to be in your house, and that's how I always equate.
Exactly.
People are sitting on a couch behind you.
Exactly.
I just like 100 is just like, I've seen so many people, you know, make partner and then just like stagnate from there.
That's what I'm afraid of too.
100 means to me that you've made partner and you continue to grow at least somewhat, you know.
Yeah, that's like a weird, I don't want to say fear, because fear is not like right, but like that's like I'm afraid of, like I'm afraid like, oh, like this game will, you know, make me grow in popularity, and then as soon as I stop playing it, it'll fall off.
Everybody dips. You know? Yeah. I think the average person definitely views streams for the game you're playing, like the content that you're providing, and then like if you're good enough, they'll stick around through any game.
But if you earned partner and squander it by running reruns all the time, are they still big? No, I
would say so. It's big is obviously it's subjective, but big is more or less to me like
are there reruns? Are the reruns still getting hundreds of views? You know,
right.
Like I actually have thought before about like doing reruns of some of like my most favorite streams, and like just watching them with you guys and like reacting. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I feel like I don't know.
That makes me want to go back and play new Pokemon Snap.
All right. Yep. So just keep going this way.
I was able to upgrade to a +2, but there's a Knights Cavalry over there
I see him.
I see him. Funny, so I want to go kill him.
I'm heading that way right now. I see him. I don't know. I would love to get partner, but like if I'm being honest, like I would love to just like I'd be happy at like 25, 30 average, honestly.
Yeah, I would too. Very much so, would be.
The worst part is like I've gotten really close a few different times where like, oh, my average has been like in the 20s like this whole week, and then it'll fall off. Like when I started The Witcher 3, I had like several streams that were like in the 30s.
That's awesome.
And then
I remember that
it falls off very, very quickly, and I was just like, seriously? Like, how long did you expect me to take on the game? Like, I'm sorry I didn't beat it in a week.
Yeah. I was experiencing some really good numbers with The Last of Us, but I'm like, guys, I don't want to play The Last of Us for the next year, you know?
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't continue to play those games for forever.
Like, some people can. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, some people can, and they succeed because of it. But that's just not me. Like, I'm a variety. I like playing a big variety of different games.
Yeah, like, in my personal life, I play a big variety of games. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it on stream, too.
Yeah, I've been a Nintendo boy, like, my entire life. I, once again, ask where we're headed. because I know you've answered it 4 times.
We're still going east. We don't have the map,
okay,
the map yet,
okay.
but we're still going east. There's these 2 trolls right here. And they're guarding a cart of some sort.
I'm almost, I'm about 1,000 runes from leveling again, so that's...
Good. So here's gonna be 2,000 right here.
Two. Oh, he got up really quick.
Oh shit, I just used 2 flasks on accident.
There we go.
Nice.
Is there something in the cart?
Yep.
Give us the goods.
I don't know what it is though. I just don't remember what it is.
I just got an incredible craving for pizza.
Ooh.
Holy buckets.
That'd be amazing.
I'm on a diet right now, and so I can't,
Very nice.
but... Oh my god. Oh, those do give some swag rune counts.
Mm-hmm. An easy,
Okay.
easy 1K, you know?
Easy single K.
Easy.
Oh, we're getting a map.
Singular K, yeah.
I'm just gonna go to 1 that I marked.
Okay. Oh, Waypoint Ruins? Wait, there's something here, isn't there?
Yeah, the waypoint is awesome.
Waypoint Ruins has something. What are we?
I actually
what is
have no
here?
idea what's in Waypoint Ruins. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad or if it's miserable or... I just want to make this plant bleed.
To bleed.
No, something is in Waypoint Ruins. I had to go here for
Yeah,
my setup.
there's a fog door. Okay.
Now we're fine. Fuck
Oh,
it.
is this where Selen is?
I think so.
Is
Yep,
this
it
the pumpkin? Okay, so here's Selen. Yay, I can learn some
Yay,
sorceries.
we found Selen. Ow.
No. 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 Pay attention to him. Don't pay
Big
attention to
leap
me.
rock.
Nice.
Nice clutch W there. Hell yeah.
Hi, Selen. Can I learn
Hello,
from
Selen.
you, please?
I am lifting the fog.
Hello. Talk to her.
I want to learn sorcery.
Sorceries. Wait, I have to leave because
Sorcery.
I should still be. I'm alright. I'm gonna separate really quick. You don't have to. I'm just gonna separate and then come back because I should still be able to talk to NPCs.
Okay.
So that's weird.
Glintstone, Stars, Arc. I want none of them.
Amazing. It rolls from Texas Roadhouse and it cured my depression for a minute. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
so there is
God.
this place in Tennessee called Logan's Roadhouse. And they
Okay.
do
Love a good Logan's Roadhouse.
handmade
A hand-rolled roll.
hand-rolled rolls and
A hand-rolled roll in the shape
bro,
of a hand.
tell me how I can literally eat like a dozen of those rolls like in a sitting. Oh.
A good-ass roll goes real hard. That's all I'll say.
If you add the butter, I could see that. Ooh, who has
Oh, man.
which of the big chain restaurants has like the honey butter? It's like just a little tiny bit sweet to it.
Ooh, I don't know.
Is
I don't
it
know about that.
Outback? Is it Outback?
I don't know. They're Aussies, so I don't know. I don't know. They import all their Australian. I know that much. I know there's a local place in North Dakota that sells like cinnamon butter with their rolls, and you have never had more calories.
Is this
and been
Texas
happier.
Roadhouse? Is this honey
Is it
cinnamon
Texas?
butter?
Ah, I see.
All right, so we got Selen. All right, so we're still gonna keep going east because we gotta get Blythe, and then we can go to Liurnia.
Liurnia. We're going to Liurnia.
We can go to
Liurnia
Liurnia.
land. Are you on your way then?
Yeah. Okay. Hire some cigar rollers and make luxuries. Ooh. The brown
Gonna do a
pumpernickel
quick
bread, which
chat,
is pretty good.
or,
Yeah.
A quick reminder while we're waiting on her that we are streaming live with Pinxel, and you absolutely go follow her if you're not already,
Oh my gosh.
because this is really fun, and I'm loving this entire co-op thing.
Yes, guys. Everybody who's already in my chat already
Yeah.
follows Envoy. But if you don't,
If you don't, yeah, exactly.
what
You're
the
making an
fuck?
egregious error.
What the fuck?
It's like, I would like to speak to you politely.
Excuse
in a
me,
Lots parking
but
lot.
what the fuck?
All right. I'm curious, like, oh fuck. You restarted, right?
Yeah,
I just
I'm
don't
back.
know where
I'm
you
already
are.
back. Yeah,
Oh my
I went
God.
east.
I thought you were still going to go talk to Selen.
I did, and I bought sorceries and everything.
Where
Are you
the
not
fuck
listening?
have I been? No, I was looking for you the entire time. I'm
like, oh, I'm
yo,
gonna buy this one. I'm gonna buy this one.
I was like, this is taking an awfully long time for her to like respawn in. Like, what's going on?
No, I'm already
And then I'm just like,
here.
all right. Eventually, I'm like looking at my watch. I was like, where is she?
I know, he's like, well, we're waiting for her. I'm like, waiting for me to do what?
Yeah, I already got the map. I'd say I'm already halfway there.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
You know,
My virgin ears. What the fuck do you mean, Nikki?
are we virgining right now?
Are we virgining?
Man, I sure can't wait to get home and make out on a recliner.
Wow. Make out on a recliner like it's 2001. Oh, did you know that these guys will show you they'll show you secrets?
Are you talking about the little ghosties that spawn and walk?
Yeah.
I do know this, because I would follow them and they would show me secrets. And I was
show
like,
you
wow.
Cigarettes. Show me your cigarettes.
Will they show me cigarettes?
Cigarettes.
Yeah, where are all the cigarettes? Ooh, big bear. You want to go fight the bear?
Okay, bear.
There's lots of bears. There's
so many bears. What's this? Oh, a Nomadic Warriors Cookbook number 4.
When I had my iron
Oh my god, I do no damage!
I encountered a bear, and I murdered
I do no damage!
That's like a you problem.
That is definitely a me problem. And I really wish it wasn't.
What's up, buddy? I don't deal very much damage either.
Oh. Crackle Barrel have honey? Oh, does Crackle Barrel? I don't remember. It's been a super long time since I've been to
Crackle Barrel.
We have one nearby. I just haven't been there in a
so
while.
good.
Thank you.
You fended him off.
I did. I went pew, 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 pew for my distance.
A new map has been found. I found the new map. Let's go fight this air tree avatar then.
Okay.
Assuming there is one, because
I like how you say air tree.
Thanks. I try to oppose my colonizer allegations by being the pastiest white boy I know. And so I put a little swagger on all the words that I say. I put a little swagger, if you will.
Would you like to go to the air tree with me?
Shut the fuck up. It looks like there is no. It looks like there is no avatar here. I'm gonna push my glasses up a little bit.
Oh,
hey
so
there,
bad.
pal. You wanna go? You wanna go
to see the air tree with me?
You wanna go?
I hear
to
it's pretty
SeaWorld?
nice this time of year. The air tree.
Oh, the air tree.
The air tree, yes. The aired tree.
The aired trunk. Let's go to
We're
this.
super close to Mistwood. It's literally right here. This is where Blythe is.
Oh.
Behind us. It's like right here.
Oh, I was there's like a little. Oh fuck, I'm gonna die.
Here's a merchant.
die.
What you have, merchant? Do you have anything good?
Hey, merchant. Show me the goods.
I'm hungry. You could be hungry
Wait,
too.
why can't I talk? Why is he acting like this? I can't talk to him now.
Is that I need smithing stone 3s.
Really? Do we have do we have any bell bearings yet? Vullaby is a diapered Pokemon. Get out of here, Elviero.
Yes, absolutely is correct. Vullaby does have a diaper.
I mean, I know, but like the fact that it's categorized as a diapered Pokemon, like.
Also, fun fact is that Vullaby is very good in Little Cup.
Vullaby is very good in a Little Cup?
In Little Cup tournaments. So in competitive Pokemon, there's a bunch of different formats you can play.
Oh, is there?
And one of the formats is called Little Cup, where it's only pre-evolution Pokemon.
Gotcha.
And Vullaby has a really good typing and stat spread.
So is it pre-evolution in every sense? So like not even like a middle evolution?
Correct. It's like the baby evolutions of things.
I see.
When Duraludon got an evolution for Arcaladon in the DLC for Scarlet and Violet, he immediately broke the entire format and was banned in like less than a week.
Lol.
He's a Dragon Steel. You just couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
Even the because like Duraludon with an Eviolite is like even more sturdy than Arcaladon. And like even like one of the best Pokemon in the entire format, which is Mienfoo, couldn't take him down because he has an ability called Stamina. Oh, what's this?
Open for business.
Open for
it
business?
says. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
What?
I don't know. I've never seen it before.
That's so strange. I am being assaulted by villains. But yeah, so I don't know if Duraludon has this ability. It probably actually isn't. But our Caledon has an ability called Stamina, where whenever he gets hit, oh fuck.
Must be very sneaky.
Oh,
Ow.
I hear Blythe.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, we go to Kale, and Kale gives us the emote we need. It's a little bit of a running back and forth, which is
Ooh,
annoying,
this is why I knew where this was. The Axe Talisman is something that I actively use with my
actively
Starfists.
use.
Jesus Christ. Hold on, where is it? I'm booing you.
Boo. Come on. The jokes you made earlier, really?
Fantastic.
Wow. Blythe! Blythe BB! Where are you? Hello? Ow! It's over here. Hold on. Ow! Oh, chased. I love Blythe.
I love beating up bears.
You're doing so great. Ow!
I loved Blythe until we had to kill him.
That made me sad, but he was just doing his doggy best and defending Ronnie.
Yeah, he was just being a good boy.
He was just being a good boy. He was being the best boy.
Alright.
Alright,
Bear's
so
dead.
there's him. I'm gonna go to Church of Ellie to get a thing from Kale. So I can get a
Okay,
snap.
so I'm good here.
Yeah, you don't need. I don't think you need the emote, honestly. Only one of us
Okay,
needs to have
I'm
him
gonna
come
go. I think there's a grace at this like castle, so I'm gonna head to my marker that I made.
Mhm.
I'll get the grace and then I'll follow you.
down. About the Howling in Mistwood.
Ella, the Church
On
of
foot.
Ella.
Finger snap.
Is it the Church of Los Angeles? The Church of
Church
LA?
of Ella. Ella.
LA.
No, it's actually
LA.
it's actually just from The Last of Us, and he's like Ella.
LA.
Ella.
Alright, I've recently been here too, so it's fresh in me memories.
Fresh in me memories.
Alright.
Oh my gosh, did we do the biggest blunder ever in the history of ever? Did you buy your crafting kit from the Church of LA? LA?
Probably not. No, I don't have a crafting ability right now. Wait.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Oh my god, I literally need 70 runes to level up. 70.
That's
70.
exciting. I
Hi,
am
Marbs, how
in
you
Fort
doing?
Haight. I am in Fort Haight. So
Okay, I will be there in literally a moment.
I don't know if I'll need you, but I am going to go ahead and get the medallion.
Oh, I don't know.
Bring me that medallion!
If it doesn't if it doesn't automatically give it to me, I might have to run down there too. We'll see though, because a lot of quest stuff it gives to both of us.
Gotcha.
How are you? I'm wonderful, Marbs. How are you? All right, let me go back to Mistwood.
We are stupendous. All right, Dectus medallion half or left.
Oh, hold on. I have to. I'm in a loading screen. Let me see if it picked
Gotcha.
up for me. Tired,
Grab
long
my
day.
protein.
Same. Doesn't look like I got it. So let me run to you.
Damn Shane.
It's all good.
I'm drinking my
It's
other
all
protein shake for the
good.
day.
Thought you might be saucy. Lol.
Saucy.
Saucy.
It's very toxic.
Yeah, saucy is our brand at my job.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
What's your favorite hot sauce?
I don't know if I actually have a favorite hot sauce, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I just said I don't really do spicy. When we were talking about the Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
That's true. I love sauce, and
I mean,
what
I
is
love
life without
sauce, but like a hot sauce, like I don't.
oh man, that makes me want wings. I've been wanting wings all
Wangs.
week. I love chickens and their fingers. God,
Wow.
nothing quite a good old chicken finger.
Louisiana, best hot sauce. Hi, driver. Welcome in. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, driver. I recently discovered Cholula Chipotle. That is incredible. And then I also discovered the habanero flavored Cholula, which is also fantastic to put on pizza.
The
on
Hobbit
pretty much
flavored.
anything.
The Hobbit flavored. It was right there. It was right there. I know. Can't help it.
I died a fiery death.
No.
It didn't go so hot for me on the
No.
descent. On the way back down, didn't go great. And as the Europeans say, I can't be fucked to go get my runes again.
I can't be arsed.
I can't be arsed.
I can't be arsed. Sriracha on pizza is amazing. Guys, I'm gonna
Sriracha
order so much pizza next
Pizza
week.
is quite good, but I kind of
Who
away from it.
who fucks with ranch on pizza?
I will dip my crust in ranch. I got made fun of a little bit too much when I was a younger lad.
A young lad, a wee lad.
For like putting a lot of ranch on my pizza. It's not my favorite, but I'll do it. You know, you're getting assaulted.
I am. Bye. Goodbye. Whee!
All right, are you heading to Fort Haight?
I'm here.
Eventually. Oh, you're here. Okay.
Yes.
I hear the fear.
I'm being assaulted by a man. A rat!
By a man. A rat.
A rat!
The squawk behind the rat was so good.
All right.
All right,
I'm
we
out.
found-
I'm out.
we
I'm
found-
out. I'm free.
Obla di, obla die. You got the medallion?
Yeah, I got the medallion. Let me go back to Blythe and snap to make him come down, and then we are absolutely good to progress on.
All right, I would love to get to Liurnia. I kind of want to go to the village of Albanurex.
Okay.
Because it's like kind of easy to get to, and we get a Halig tree medallion half.
Oh, I wonder how you learned that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just stumbled across a random dude.
Yeah.
And, without
Yeah.
any assistance
Without
whatsoever.
any assistance whatsoever, you're
Not a
like,
lick.
I'm gonna smack this random jar and hope
Yeah.
that it turns into a man. Yeah.
Correct. I was like,
yeah.
that's a fucky looking jar over there. And then, yeah, it was fun.
Mac, thank you so much.
Okay.
Aya!
So I guess I'll just go to Lake Facing Cliffs then, huh? And wait for you.
Yeah, go for it. I'll be.
All right, I'm
just a
gonna
moment.
wait at Lake Facing Cliffs.
Right, seriously, bats. I literally just need to go right over here. Like, please leave me alone. They would not be tasty.
Maybe I'll read my Godzilla
Mac.
comic while we wait for you.
How you doing? I can't open my fucking map.
If I had a top-down camera, I would read out loud and I would show it and everything. All right,
Instead
let me
of
know when you're here.
pineapple?
I won't see you. The Coming. Lord, the supply ship capsized, smashed by a monster. Amazing. Oh.
I found the Shafra River well elevator. Shifra.
Look at this.
Yeah, but I need
strapping
this-
young lad.
I need this bear to go away so I can. Jeez. Are you done?
Look at this guy.
Are you done, sir? Can I
Me?
go now? No, this bear that's on my tush.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fucking.
No, I haven't
abs
even been.
that I'm
I
showing.
literally, like, I've gone in front of Blythe like 4 times, and all I have to do is just get this emote off, and I can't get this emote off because these bears that I won't let me open my menu. But all right,
Can't stand a bad bear.
I know. All right. I'm here. Please, just. I need 30 seconds here to get this emote off. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Is that what you need?
Okay, here we go.
Toughly
Where's my
competent,
fingers?
able-bodied men are helpless in the midst of such random havoc, reduced to no more than tiny figures of scurrying panic. Run! Get out! Get everyone out of here now! Johnny, come on, man! Orders are for complete evacuation! I can't leave yet, Frank. Gotta see that my distress broadcast is being picked up by...
Hi, Blythe.
They get smashed.
Can I talk to you?
Ditch the rig, Eddie, fast! I can't! The door's stuck, it won't! He gets consumed. Open. Oh my god, what is... Ah! Spracked!
I said Elden Ring and I had to take
Yeah.
a look. How's the game's going? The game is going great. I
Yo, Godzilla
am
is like
living
hotly
in my
nimble,
Elden
and then
Ring
there's,
era
like,
right
an
now.
ad.
Don't know if I mentioned I've stopped playing Overwatch. I think it's for the best. Not going.
This
Yeah.
is what I want to look like when I grow up.
Yeah.
This guy. I want to look like this guy right there. Nobody else. Just eye patch, big cigar poof. That's it. I found my
Ranch and
ideal
pizza.
aesthetic. It's the peak
Love
male
Ranch and
form.
Pineapple. I like both of them. You may not like it, but this is what the peak male form looks like.
Yeah, that like that heavier set dude who does the fucking backflip on the rollerblades. Yeah, honestly, I think Omni-Man might be what we call the peak male. And it's not necessarily, it's not like the most achievable thing, but it might be. Like, looking like Omni-Man could work. You just have to have a good mustache, which I'm working on.
Isn't that the Amazon one?
What, Invincible?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the Amazon one, right?
Yeah, Omni-Man's a great guy. Have you seen it?
Isn't he not a great guy?
Haven't you seen Invincible?
No, I haven't.
All right, Omni-Man is an awesome character. You should watch it.
I feel like I've seen memes, and that makes me feel like he's not a great guy.
That's the neat part. You don't.
Oh.
Wonderful father figure.
Blythe! I can't talk to Blythe. I can't. You might have to come here and talk to him. I literally can't talk to him. He's here. He's down, but he won't.
I'm joking when I say this, but God, you're so needy.
I know.
Yeah. Omni-Man is a wonderful father figure. He teaches by example.
Mm-hmm.
And he really just wants what's best for his young son named Mark.
Stephen Yun. That's his.
I think Omni-Man is a great role model.
Isn't it J. Jonah Jameson?
It is.
Yeah.
It's Tenzin.
Yeah.
I think J. Jonah Jameson did the best Tenzin you possibly could, and from Korra, that you could have possibly asked for. I am here, by the way.
He's right here.
Ah, big wolfy boy.
Yeah.
I think there was a scene in the first season of Korra where like Korra was really frustrating him, and he like lost his cool very briefly, and it was just like I love it because like he's an air nomad, but even Korra can like test his patience to the absolute limit.
Hypercharged?
Can I kill him?
What's that? No.
Can I pet the dog? I never did this.
Hypercharged, Smarps? Yeah, it just kind of progresses Ronnie's story a little bit.
Gotcha.
Easier.
Okay, he's spoken to.
Okay, cool. So now we can go to Liurnia.
Let's go to Leaners.
The lake flacing fliffs.
Yeah, lake facing.
The lake flacing fliffs.
All right. Liurnia of the Lakes, where the sky is ever purple, and somebody managed to make this. How did Raya Lucaria Academy get constructed? Who knows? They don't even have crane.
Raya Lucaria.
I'm going to the Church of Earth right here to grab the Sacred Tear and talk to this idiot, I guess.
Oh. Okay.
Wasn't planning on it, but you got to talk to every idiot, right?
You have to talk to idiots.
I can't talk to this idiot, and I'm about to kill him unless you prevent me from doing so.
Why? Who? What idiot? What idiot?
You know, he won't talk to me, so I can't ask his name.
Oh my gosh. I wonder if you need to disconnect, and that might fix our NPC problems.
How do I do this?
You just separation mist and then tiny great pot again. That's all.
Okay.
Easy peasy. Yes, it is called the Seamless Co-op mod, and it is on Nexus Mods if you are interested in playing Mac.
Bro,
Mac.
Leafer, what's good, dude? Long time no see. How are you?
See him. But yes, Mac, it is Seamless Co-op is what it's called.
Did I fuck up? I don't know. I left and then opened my world again.
Yep, so you did your China Great Pot. Yep, so I just need to join. I'll be right there.
Okay, maybe. Leafer, how's it going, buddy? Like I said, long time no see. Good to see.
You're welcome. Very fun.
I
Very
forgot.
fun to play with.
I just heard a walk on I haven't heard in a long time. Ah, I see. Surgery. I hope everything went well. Okay. I still can't talk to this ding dong.
Which ding dong are you talking about?
I'm literally teabagging.
Oh, I talked to him. Weird.
Does he say anything noteworthy? Can I kill him?
Yeah, his name is Topes, and yeah, he will give us Yeah, he'll give us the key to the key. The key to the key. He'll give us the clue to the key to open Raya Lucaria.
This is... Oh, he just gives us a clue.
Yeah.
Can I kill him?
After. Let me get my sorceries from him.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't know what he sold. A pain to recover from, basically. Eye patch, man. Ooh, is it eye surgery? Fuck, man. That's... Ugh. I've been good, yeah.
Did you make a face? Did I? I don't know. Listen, I don't have a poker face at all.
Life's been really solid lately.
Thanks, Mac.
Life has been quite solid.
Okay.
Swelling. Ooh,
Let us go.
I see. All right, are we gonna go fight a lizard?
Yeah.
All right. Or at least steal the lizard's hold.
An academy scroll.
This is not where I want to be.
Ooh, look at that view, though, guys. Look at that
Oh my
view,
God.
though,
We
guys.
should
This
get a
game is
penthouse.
so pretty.
One of the most common pictures. All right.
This game is so pretty. Hi, friendship. Welcome in. Hello, Firekeeper. How you doing?
Ooh, we love a good firekeeper.
We love a good Firekeeper.
Hell yeah, man. I am so into keeping fires these days.
I'm so into just keeping fires.
I just love lighting a fire
Crazy.
and making sure that
and
it
just
does not
making
get
sure
out
it
of
keeps.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my favorite thing.
This
Bro,
game
Leaf,
really
it was
pretty.
I haven't seen you in a while. I was like, I haven't heard that one in a minute. Yeah.
I want to keep all the fires same.
I want to keep all. Well, I share. I got a cookbook. I'm
Where-
going into the lake.
Where did you get
Yeah, man, I've been good. Like I'm
I haven't
moving
been
in
on
3
too much of a
months.
wimp. What do you have it on? Oh, you probably have it on PlayStation, don't you, Rachel? I was gonna say if you have it on PC, I'll play, but yeah, you probably have it on
You're talking
PlayStation.
about Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm moving. I got orders, and I'm moving in about 3 months. So I'm mentally prepping for that,
Do you know
financially prepping
where
for that,
yet?
and TwitchCon. I'm going to Wyoming. I'm going to be
Okay.
probably finishing my career in Wyoming.
Oh, okay.
I would like to retire there, and I'm going to live on base for about a year, hopefully, save up some money, and then buy a house after that.
Nice.
That
Did you
is
get this
my
grace?
ultimate goal. Nope.
Amazing, you're doing great.
I am looking for the map.
On Xbox. We should be able to see it if we're close. Oh, yeah, right there. You're right. There's a... What you got? What you got, vendor?
What you need.
What you got, vendor? I'm a newbie, so am I. This is the first and only Souls game I've ever played, and I'm obsessed.
Monet.
Obsessed.
Oh, is your main from Tekken not already in the game?
Oh, there's an S-stock here.
I
with
like
the
to think that I'm a
impaling
Souls
the
veteran,
rust.
but I also feel like I'm a fraud. I can't talk to NPCs now.
You're a frog?
All
right, so
yeah,
we'll
I
just-
like to think. I think that I'm a frog because I have only played each one like 2 times now. I've done my regular playthrough and I've done my level 1 playthroughs.
I'm a frog. Rip it.
I'm such a frog. I am a right frog. Wait. Okay. All right.
What?
I was stubborn, you see.
Yeah, uh-huh.
You can ascend these little stairs.
What little stairs?
There's a thing in the wall that lets you get up there. There's like a little jut of rock.
I see.
I'm gonna find it.
I see.
Take it.
At the very beginning, and I just kept killing the guys in the first village over and over, and that's all I've done. Listen, that's
so
it. That's
valid.
the game. That's
Yeah,
the game.
that's kind of like the entire overarching principle of Elden Ring.
Right.
Is kill guy in village until strong.
Until strong, yeah, exactly. And then you
Yeah.
just go kill other guys in other villages until you get even more stronger.
Yeah.
And then eventually you are so strong, nothing can stop you. I hate myself right now.
No! Wait.
Did you do it? Man,
Oh
I
my
wish I
God.
was a super cool speedrunner because, like, I've seen, like,
Alright,
how to do,
alright.
like, the Celia skip and stuff. and
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
like, man, I wish I
Alright,
was cool.
so- There's some juts of rock that Torrent can stand on
Mm-hmm.
that will help you get from one to the next.
What is up there? Like, why are we going up there?
There is an Everjail.
Okay.
There's an Everjail right here.
Why? Okay. I don't know why it's not
I want to
there.
see if you can get it. But
I probably
was like,
can, but it's just sometimes
I
it's
don't
just
know
double
the
jump
right
doesn't
way to
wanna
get up
double
here,
jump.
but I was just like, I'm gonna find the little juts in rock and I'm gonna make my own stair. Right there. Yep, you see that ledge.
I'm trying not to go too high. There we go.
And then there's another ledge right next to you.
Like, oh, no, go back up. So you went from here to another ledge?
Here. I'll join you.
Oh,
I
here?
will sacrifice my sheer luck. Did you already get there? No. All right. It's right here.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're actually like pretty much there. There's more. This is the jump that I was.
See, this is what I hate is when you jump
So
and then it takes like the 3 extra steps.
Yeah, this is where I was. This is where I ended up. Right here.
Yeah, unfortunately this is exclusive. You can only play with other people on the same console. So like even like Xbox and like PlayStation can't play.
All right, hold on. I don't want to exclude you. Do you see it? Oh, yes. You see the vision.
I'm trying.
Now just keep
I'm trying to
hugging.
not.
No.
I was so afraid that's what was gonna
I
happen.
watched you drop down so quick. That was hilarious. Gizmo's on your lap for real? Hell yeah. We love a good cat lap. Kitties, hi. Envoy the pizza. I had to pop in for the collab. No, Pinxel, you're so close. Just install springs in Torrent and you'll be okay. How are you, kitties? It's good to see you, friend.
No, stop.
Oh, he just left. Was that my fault?
Okay.
All right, Pinxel, I believe in you.
Got it.
Let's go. No. You had it. You were almost there.
Just jump and stay still when you're done jumping.
I'm always happy to see you around, kitties.
Come on.
All right, I believe you. Okay, you're actually doing this in like an easier way than I did. So.
Okay.
Yeah, just hop, skip, and a jump.
Now stay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that you can get to that ledge from here.
I'm
You're
a
amazing.
gamer.
Why are we booing?
Why? Who's booing?
I
Achievement
don't know.
unlocked.
I forgot to
parkour.
change my channel point redemption. I think that people think that that's a scary boo. Is it Leaper's birthday today? No shit.
Oh look, I'm
And he
alive.
chose to come and visit me. I'm gonna summon Jelly.
Good point.
Why are we booing me?
Platform god for I know, right? For real.
Thank you for the lurk. In 1 hour, hell yeah.
Hey, Aiden.
Oh, I remember this guy. He died immediately.
Hey. Don't heal. That's so rude.
There we go. We got him.
Disrespectful.
Happy New Zealand birthday. Yeah, it's your
Mountain
birthday
goat.
in New Zealand hours.
Felt like a mountain goat there for a minute.
Yeah.
Flame of the Fell God. Oh, it's legendary. Nice.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't that a legendary?
It is.
I did.
It is
Yes, I have.
indeed.
So, fun to have 2 things.
Awful case, and I'm refusing to work anymore. Close it. Aya, done. Wipe it off. Done.
I have strawberries and cream, Dr. P.
Dr. P.
DP.
A dirty DP.
And then a clean one. We're fresh around here. And
That's
then a
what
cream
my-
soda.
that's what
which
my
I don't
chat
like the cream
Fucking
soda.
calls it because they're
I don't-
degenerates.
Oh, I see. I don't like the cream soda one, but I think it will.
You heard me. I called you degens.
Degens from upcountry.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to visit New Zealand because of Lord of the Rings. Also, one of my childhood crushes moved there. Oh, that'd be so sick. You absolutely should. I'm eventually going to visit at some point. I've never actually been out of the country outside of going on a Disney cruise and going to Canada once.
I've been to the Bahamas.
Yeah, that's where I went to. The Disney cruise went there.
Okay.
So anyway,
Liurnia.
I'm gonna keep
Wait,
going up
says
this road real
you
quick.
discovered the thing, but I haven't.
The strawberry
discovered
Dr.
that.
Pepper is
Why?
awesome, Leaper.
That's so strange.
Maple syrup
The
land,
Bahamas.
I believe you.
Bahami Mammy.
Yeah, the Bahami Mammies.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good drinks.
Hello?
I'm just going up the road and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm just getting the map because it's right.
Okay.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Piss off. Piss off, ghost.
Oh, you vanquished. You got vanquished.
Ooh,
and
this
maple
thing's-
syrup
I
land
don't think
is
I've
the
ever
Coke with
seen
coffee.
those things up close.
The Coke with coffee is awful in my opinion.
What?
Yo, Joshy, what's up, dude? I am.
Hi,
Seamless
welcome.
co-op is fantastic. It's a very nice break from the RL1 that we've been doing. Because I get to level up. Coke with coffee, yes, it's it's not good. And I think it's
Is it just Coke with coffee? Like that's all it is?
So. I think so. It's got like coffee beans in it or something. It's just not tasty.
I don't know if those flavor combinations go well together, honestly.
They don't necessarily. What is it though? I haven't seen it in years, but I remember trying it and being like, ew.
Dude, I just want the map. Piss off.
But you don't like black coffee? I did not hear when I tried
The
it.
Coke with coffee is foul.
Many
really?
moons ago. I did not hear a single positive review of it.
Well, because I know that there's like the Pepsi Nitro, which I don't know if that has.
I've never had the
coffee in it.
Pepsi Nitro. Joshy, how you been, buddy? Welcome in. I was replaying Elden Ring. It was fun, but I forgot how hard it can get. When you're leveling, like I'm doing my RL1, and it's difficult, right? Like it's honestly exceptionally difficult because you just have to learn everything. But with leveling after that, it's not as bad. So this is how you get to the village of Albinarex.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I remember.
Yep. You don't like carbonated drinks mostly, but the Pepsi Nitro is good. Is the Pepsi Nitro
Really?
carbonated? Or is it just like a coffee drink?
Ooh, is it? Yeah, I know there's like nitro beers. Good, I think it's been a few years since I was wondering that. I saw you in my Discord listing, and I'm just like, I haven't seen this guy. I was literally thinking this like yesterday, dude. I was like, I haven't seen this guy in a long time. We're having some blast in the past in chat today. Oh, what happened to Wolfie?
Wolfie's daughter doesn't feel good.
Oh no. I am a professional sickness destroyer. No, lots of life? Hell yeah, man. We love a good life developments. Assuming they're all good. Living with a girlfriend, like that's such a huge step. I hope obviously it's been going well since it's been going for a year.
Carbonated coffee just doesn't sound good. Some things don't need
Carbonated
to be fuzzy.
coffee?
Some things don't need to be fizzy, you know?
Just don't say that ever again, please.
Don't say carbonated coffee?
Ugh, stop.
Okay.
God, it puts
I'll stop
thoughts
saying
in my
carbonated
brain.
coffee.
Stop it! Jesus Christ. No sense. Okay. This is a good view. Love a good poison swamp. I'm sure glad that Torrent has poison immune feet.
Oh, it's nitrogen infused Pepsi?
Gotcha.
Are you supposed to be ingesting nitrogen?
There's nitro brewed beers.
Okay. Are you supposed to be ingesting nitrogen?
I think you're looking too far into it.
Oh, I guess you're probably right.
Just take your nitro beers and be like, don't say.
Just drink
"Should
your
I be
nitro
ingesting
beers
this?"
and shut up.
I didn't want to say it as harshly, but yeah. No, Joshy, we're doing our RL1, our no leveling run, and that is going to be my DLC character. That is my ultimate goal.
Miss the Dresser has let theater
so
camp. Oh no, I'm keeping
I
the
have
show
managed
for
to avoid most spoilers for the DLC. So it's incoming.
There are enemies in the DLC.
There's crab. I have crabs. What do you have?
I hope you don't have crabs. You might need to go see a doctor.
I don't know.
Isn't nitrogen the most common element in our atmosphere?
It's carbon, isn't it?
Is it carbon?
That's why it's carbon-aided.
I don't know.
I deserve
feel
a
like-
woo for that.
Woo.
I'll woo myself. Thank you.
Nitrogen in drinks is better for you than carbon dioxide gas in drinks. So
I've been told that the Oreos here are different than the Oreos that... Ooh, okay.
So nitrogen is just like a different way to
Thank you,
carbonate other than
I don't know.
carbon dioxide gas. Is that what?
Oh.
Is that what those machines use? Why can't soda streams?
Ooh, probably, yeah. That's why you need to get them recharged.
Yeah.
Joshy,
You
I
have
am
a
no
grace over
god
there
at
yet?
Elden Ring, or at FromSoft, but I appreciate the confidence there. I am but a humble man who is persistent.
Is there a grace over at the village? Oh, you're not there yet. Use CO2. Okay, okay, okay. It tastes smoother? Really? Alright, I'll give it a shot. For some reason I thought Pepsi Nitro was like Pepsi with like coffee in it. Like, they sell it with like the energy drinks. Had those nitrogen frozen cake? I have not. Nitrogen frozen cake pops though? Sounds like it slaps. I also learned from my Google degree trademark that nitrogen also has health benefits. Oh my gosh, like, have you guys ever heard the story of people who, like, shine their buttholes to the sun? Is it like that? I really hope that Envoy's chat heard me say shine their buttholes to the sun. No, I have not. Yeah, it's like, apparently people actually do that. You've heard of that? Please elaborate. Yeah, so apparently you sit down and you, like, lean back and you put your butthole up in the air and you expose it to sunlight so it gets some vitamin D. And apparently it has excellent health benefits. I've never tried it, but apparently I've been told it has excellent health benefits. Envoy is dangerously quiet right now. We're just tanning their buttholes? No, no, no. No, no, no. It's apparently got health benefits. It's like sun tanning, but also skin cancer of the butthole. That's something to go to a nude beach for. Oh my gosh, imagine going to a nude beach and it's just butthole tanners. Doesn't people steam their buttholes? Do people steam their buttholes? What would be the point of that? Is it the same way that not drowning has health benefits? Maybe. This is always an educational stream. You know that. I'm here to spread knowledge, not lies. They bleach the butthole? Well, I know people bleach their buttholes, but that's not what we're talking about. That's different. I feel like it's a whole different situation. Butthole bleaching is for the you know, the fashion, the butthole fashion, as you will. For the you know, the physical benefits. For the sexy time. But the vitamin D is a whole different situation. I feel like Envoy has completely muted me right now. He's like, I want nothing to do with this. I
accidentally pressed the mute button.
Oh, so
you have been talking.
You have been hearing
some
the buttholes?
obscene things. I've been saying sunning the perineum.
I was like, he is literally like unusually quiet for a lot of butthole
I did
talk
not realize I
right
had
now.
muted myself and not unmuted. I apologize.
Oh,
Apparently,
my gosh.
I've been saying like the last thing I just said was that you could just do anal to get vitamin D in your butthole.
You could do anal to get vitamin D in your butthole. That is true.
That's my first suggestion.
But they don't. The vitamin D doesn't go inside the sphincter. It just.
You spread them a little bit more. Have you ever heard of goatsy? I should stop there. I'm going to. We got to fight Omen Killer here.
Yep, we do have to fight the Omen Killer. That's right.
I
believe Gwyneth Paltrow is an advocate of either anus or vaginal steaming. I believe she vaginal steams, yes.
God fucking damn it. What happened to this guy? Why isn't he moving?
I don't mind. What would be the health benefits of a vaginal steam, though? Wouldn't that screw up your pH, though?
This is an educational stream. I agree. I'm learning so much.
Listen, pH balance down there is very important.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. You perished.
I did. He
I trusted
smacks
you.
me
You were
very
supposed
hard.
to join this. You were supposed to.
I trusted you.
I trusted you.
You were my brother, Anakin.
Oh fuck! My jelly's dead now too.
That's what suppositories are for. For
Oh,
vitamin D? Do they make vitamin D suppositories? Where can I get them? The writers of Earth are running out of ideas. Lol.
What's the next Earth update?
I don't know, but hopefully it fixes all these glitches.
The heat waves.
I feel like it would fuck up your pH, but they probably think it helps your skin, maybe?
Maybe. I don't have a vagina, so I don't know.
If they don't, you
Really?
should start. So I have Pinxel brand diapers and I have Pinxel brand vitamin D suppositories. Amazing.
I died.
My brand is taking off, guys.
I agree. I think that this is a very big. I don't want to be a part of it,
Yes, you do.
but I would like some credit here.
You always want to be part of it.
No, not a part of the whole like vitamin. I'm digging myself a hole. I already picked up the shovel. I would like to go kill this fucker.
Yes.
Because I killed him in 3 hits in R1, and so I'm feeling
Yes.
shitty. I didn't have to learn any of his attacks.
Is
Stop
wearing a
digging.
saucy
I'm
shirt?
done.
I am. Okay, I'm good.
I'm done digging.
No,
I
no,
am
no,
a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
Okay, I'm
Diggy,
coming.
diggy,
I'm running. I'm
hole.
running. I'm running. Seriously, though, this week's
Oh.
episode of Earth makes no sense. It just feels like the writers are chucking everything at the wall to see what sticks.
Shutter Friend stream gonna pop in. Hey, Jossie, thank you so much for stopping by, man. It's so good to see you again. And
My
I'm so
husband
glad
walked
to
in
hear
and
you're
said,
doing well.
"I've got a vitamin D suppository right here." No.
See, your husband and I are on the same page. Not with you, obviously, but I'm just saying, in the general grand scheme of things, this could be very
Oh,
beneficial.
that's so funny.
All right. Do you want to summon your jelly and heal?
Yeah.
There's 2 dogs that show up too. Which is
Yeah, I
unfortunate,
know. It's what? Yeah. I don't. That's not what got me,
poison.
but he distracted me.
but I can stagger him with my jumping R2.
Oh, he just does so much damage to me.
Yeah. He's coming after you.
Yep. Okay, you turn to you now. Stunned.
Ooh, I got the
Get him.
repose on him. Sweet.
Nice, and one more. Nice. Dougie. Dougie.
Amazing. Mark him
Dougie.
off.
Oh,
puppy.
it looks like I was just dropping some frames. It looks like it's
Oh,
balanced.
okay.
It looks like it balanced itself out now. So
Oh, okay.
we'll see.
Crucible spot reduces damage and impact of headshot. Okay. Ooh, nice. We got the Hailing Tree medallion that I found all on my own. So I think we are here.
Okay.
I think. I never got the map for this area though.
It's not. I mean, it's not up here.
Oh yeah, okay, I see it's down there.
Is it still? Looks like it's.
Let's go to the Laskyar ruins and progress. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay. Is it still doing it? Because on my end, it looks like it's balanced. Here too a bit. Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting my normal frameage. All right, if it's still acting really bad, let me know. But it looks like it's back up to 4,700 kilobytes. So, think I'm fine now. Okay, maybe it was just a little.
I'll be right back.
Okie doke. Just in some battles. Okay. Yeah. So before my big stream-a-thon, I'm gonna have to do like an actual like hard reboot of the router and all that stuff just to make sure it's like just stuttered, but it's not bad. Every time I stop looking at OBS, it looks like it's when it happens. Yeah, before my streamathon on Saturday, I'll make sure I like do a hard reset on the router and all that, and try to have the best that I can. I haven't restarted my router in a little bit, to be completely honest. It's at 9.3% dropped frames, which is much higher than I would like for it to be. But
immediately.
thank you, Horseman. Delicious. Oh, it dripped. Little drips. I wanted to play Elden Ring on my Mac Mini last night using Steam streaming, but my Mac Mini has apparently decided it doesn't like to stay connected to Wi-Fi. That sucks. Did you eat yet? I did. I had scrambled eggs for dinner, which I know doesn't seem like dinner, but I did. I had scrambled eggs, and it was delicious. I like eggs. I like eggs a lot. And eventually, soon, we will have freshly laid eggs. Freshly laid. Where do you get the eggs from? Well, from the grocery store, but eventually, I think we've got, my mom says, I think about 3 more months they should be egg laying.
I really do appreciate it very much. All right, are we, I know, I apologize, I kept you waiting.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I was chatting with chat.
Here.
I'm good. Anything is dinner if you're brave enough. I mean, you're not wrong.
Anything is dinner? I cannot eat tungsten.
You're not brave enough then.
No, you're fine, Dale. You're fine. Thank you so much.
Clearly, you're not brave enough then. That's how it works.
My teeth are not strong enough. It's not about bravery. It's about the strength of my
Anything is dinner if you are brave enough. Hello.
All right, that's fair. I guess you could just swallow it whole. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Are we doing map stuff? Are we finding a map? I think I've already found a map of this area.
If you found it, I will meet you there in a moment. But I found Raya, so.
Oh, what's up, Raya?
Raya. All right. So
she wants a necklace.
She wants her necklace. Her necklace.
Well, she needs to work on her posture.
She really does.
Anyway. Okay.
All right. So did you say you found the map or no? No, you didn't.
No. I can't even see it amidst
I think it's
the
that
fog.
direction.
So
I think it's north-esque.
It's north.
North.
Is it north, eh?
North.
Or the northerners.
King of the North. All right, chat. Chat and on voice chat. I need to know who watches House of the Dragon, and should I watch it as a very big diehard Game of Thrones fan?
I am actively watching it with Thundus. We are both. She's more of a fan than I am.
Yeah.
But the last episode was awesome. The last 2 episodes were really solid. As a watcher, but not like super fan. So, you should watch it. If you love Game of Thrones, you should watch it. Absolutely.
So, I watched the first episode when it came out forever, whenever. And literally the entire time I was watching the first episode, all I kept saying was, this makes me just want to watch Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones again?
Yeah, like, it didn't, like, I just didn't feel any connection there. Like, I was just like,
interesting. I do think that there's
people gave up on it after the last weird sex scene. Weird sex scenes again.
Yeah, that was fucking strange, but you should try to open your mind a little bit more than I just want to watch Game of Thrones. That's my recommendation.
My mom said the same thing. My mom was like, you love Game of Thrones. Like, why don't you like this? And I'm like, because, like, if I'm going to go back into that world and I'm going to go back into that land, like, I want the Starks.
I do know of somebody who, in anticipation for the most recent season, was binging all of Game of Thrones.
I've watched Game of
so
Thrones,
Thundus is saying it took about 3 episodes to feel the connection that you're talking about. And I will also say that, like, you know, I'm not a huge fan or anything, but I'm watching Better Call Saul as well. And
I love
for the first like several episodes of Better Call Saul, I wanted to just watch Breaking Bad.
Okay,
but
so you get it. So you okay. So Thundus says what, like 3 episodes? I'll give it a chance. I'll give it a chance. Yeah, like I said, I was one of the very few people in the world who like didn't hate the end of Game of Thrones. Like, I loved Game of Thrones. So now, did I like the ending? No.
Yeah.
No, I did not like the ending. But did I hate it and did I think it absolutely ruined the show and it was the worst thing ever? No.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. There's a lobster. I need to avoid them.
I got Raya's necklace,
Yeah.
so I'll go back and give it to her.
Give yourself a shot, or give it a shot, and try to open up your mind a little bit more.
Yeah. I couldn't watch Game of
About
Thrones because it's too violent, but I also love Matt Smith, and I'm interested in the Targaryens. You read the first book. Yeah, Game of Thrones definitely is definitely 100% violent, like, for sure, but the story itself is so good. It is unnecessarily. There's a lot of gratuitous.
There's a deathrite bird if you want to go find him.
Okay.
On this rock, right northwest of the telescope.
Ah, that's a lobster. Okay. I see you. I'm
not.
following you. Yeah. Then we can
Same
always
brain
rest
for the
at
last
grass.
season. My biggest problem, like, I'm a big action guy, right? I love seeing, like, battles, like, that's why I love Lord of the Rings and all this other stuff.
Not seen either.
Watch
Game of
Thrones. But
I
really was disappointed in the battle for Winterfell or whatever, because I was in a pitch black room.
It was so dark you couldn't see shit.
I was in a pitch black room with the brightness all the way up, and I couldn't see anything. It was very frustrating.
I was so pumped for the Battle of Winterfell.
Me
I
too.
literally oh my, I was so ready. I was so excited, and I literally remember
Kamikaze,
watching that
fantastic
episode
idea,
and being
I
like,
support this.
what was that fucking design choice? Like, what was if like I get that I understand the idea behind making it dark, so like you also felt kind of suffocated like they did, but like that could have been done differently.
They could have put any effort
like
into,
you could have put like
know.
a blue filter on it, like the fucking Twilight movies do, or whatever.
I could have
you know?
been in a fucking hot air balloon and shown a weak ass flashlight, and we would have had better lighting.
Every show is dark as hell, and everybody is whispering. Please speak up. Okay, I'm the worst person in the world to watch movies and TV with, because I have to have subtitles on, because somebody always whispers something or somebody always says something, and I'm always like, what? What did
I'm going
they
to
say?
Boil Prawn Shack, by the way.
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Boil
so
Prawn Shack as well, and
night.
I'm gonna go pee, so that, and then we can fight. All right,
I
chat
will
BRB.
say-
I'm gonna go piss girl. Envoy, you're in charge. I'll be right back.
It's good girl energy. I was like, you have a really good TV. I mean, I watched it on a really good TV too, and it was so dark, and I was really miserable about it. I will also say, to further Pinxel's point about the about shows being so dark, is that like Godzilla 2014 was like painfully dark when it first came out, and that's why one thing that I was like really happy about New Empire is that it's like, yeah, it was ridiculous, but like it was bright and you could see everything. Thank you so much for the lurk. I appreciate that. I really want to open a beer, but I shouldn't because I haven't had all my water today. I have to earn my beer. I'm actually going to drink this water, finish it off. I've got a little bit left, and then we're going to be right back. While I go refill it. You didn't have a I just couldn't see anything.
I'm back.
I couldn't see literally anything going on in like the big climactic piece of things. If it was different for you, like I would love to get that experience.
But they even said that they did it on purpose. Like they even said that they specifically like made it dark so that the audience also felt, you know, the same.
Gotcha.
Isolation.
I think
and stuff like that.
I think Dundas is just saying I liked it. Wasn't too dark for me, so that's fair.
I liked it, but yeah, I was just like, what the heck's
I would suggest
thanks, guys.
following me because there's going to be a deathrite bird, I think.
Hodor when he's holding the door so Bran can get... Oh! See, the Hodor thing, the Hodor one was super sad. But not only was the Hodor super sad, but also Hodor immediately came after Summer getting killed.
Yeah.
So, like...
It's too much.
Oh,
My heartstrings, right?
yeah. Like, when they killed any of the
Oh,
the
fuck,
dogs,
that's a
I was
grab.
like,
What a brutal grab.
yeah.
I am super dead. Holy shit.
Okay. Alright, I'll go back to the Grace. Hold on.
I got grabbed one time and died for it, so.
No, I'll go back to the Grace.
Okay. I miss my star fists. Like, very much I miss my star fist right now.
Where are the Starfists?
They are in Altus Plateau.
Uh-huh.
In a little awning thing.
Yeah. That's right.
You're waiting for me to say that I miss my Starfist? I do. Like, man, the damage output is so good on them. Like, I'm dealing pennies worth of damage in comparison.
I would love to, like, rewatch Game of Thrones, like, in the community, but it's like 76 episodes or something. It would take so long.
It is a lot. I've rewatched, oh, wait, this is the guy that has the iron balls.
Are you gonna kill him?
This is the guy with the iron balls.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill him.
Well, okay. I got his necklace, so I guess you can kill him. I guess. Poor Blackguard. Poor Blackguard. Just trying to make his prawns.
I'm just trying to prawn it up.
He's just trying to
You rewatched the entire
make some
thing?
shrimp.
So the iron balls is what I used up
Bubblegum
until I got the
shrimp.
spike fists. Just so you know.
Go ahead. Ball it up.
I need to power level them up. You're not gonna do it again for season 2. Yeah, that's a big commitment.
I never
Alright,
finished
I wanna
watching
fight the Death
it,
Ray
but
bird.
I've read, listened to all the books. I doubt George is ever gonna finish. Well, no, because he keeps taking on all the other fucking projects like Elden Ring and shit.
Apparently, George R.R. Martin's involvement in Elden Ring is he just created the world.
Yeah, he just wrote the lore. Yeah.
He didn't write all the lore. No, he just created like the map, basically. Like created the world. Like the lore and stuff is all Michael Zaki.
I absolutely do not believe that for a second because all of the enemies are G's and R's and M's.
Maybe that's like I just don't think that he made like he didn't create the Godfrey, Malekith, and all that other.
Like he may not have like designed them, but I think he absolutely wrote. Like I think he wrote the overarching like.
Sure.
America did this.
Yeah, maybe.
Only the first couple seasons are good of Game of Thrones.
I disagree with that. I thought up until season 7 was really good.
I
just couldn't keep track of a lot of things.
Okay, so I'm incredibly biased, and I'll be the 100%. I'll be 100% honest. I'll be the first person to admit I'm incredibly biased. My favorite character is Jon. I love Jon.
Sorry.
I know. So season 4 and 5 in particular are my favorites because they had some of the best like Jon episodes.
Gotcha.
The producer said he created the mythos of the game. Yeah, so yeah. I don't do much damage to this guy.
Yeah, we're not dealing with anything right now. That's okay.
Like I did more to Teresa than this guy. Where do you think it falls off then, Dave?
Fuck, man. Yeah, so the RL1 setup for this had me grab those iron balls. But it also had me grab like the bell bearings to get all the smithing stones. It had me grab Cragblade. It had me grab Flame Grant Me Strength and a whole bunch of other stuff. So
yeah.
I still think we can do this. It's just our damage output is really, really low right now.
Yeah. I need to get off the horse immediately.
Both of us summon our jellies, and I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Think you're gonna pop in here soon.
Yeah, you have to load in before I can even start my.
I think my biggest issue is like I have such a character that I'm reloaded. I have such a character trope that I really like attach to, and my favorite character was killed off in season 1, like, and so I'm just like, well, great. Like I don't.
Is it Ned?
No, it was Drogo, called Drogo. That I named my cat after him.
Oh, okay. Well,
I named my cat, and like he needed to die, or otherwise it was just gonna be 2 seasons long.
First of all, Jason Momoa, I have touched those abs. Let me just put that out there.
I'm so eternally jealous.
I have placed my hand on the abs of Jason Momoa.
I love Jason Momoa.
I'm
wondering how often I have to work out for it to
Lyanna Mormont,
for my last name to automatically change to it, but either way, I have so many rooms.
Martin created Godfrey and other historical figures of the game. Yeah, I knew that he was a little bit more involved than I think a lot of. Why me, dude? Holy shit! I just got here.
You have your jelly too? Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I just did.
Good dodge. Good dodge.
Yeah. Leave my jelly alone.
Headshots do a lot more damage to him. I know you're not worried about that, but I am.
If he moves too much, I
Stab.
can't even get him.
He's missing everything. That's good.
Oh,
there we go.
Get him, get him. The riposte. There we go.
I got an
nice.
extra head on him.
Yeah. No.
Uh-oh. We don't want that. Fuck, I'm out of stamina. What is this? Oh, he has a phase 2. That's right. Ooh, big stabs. There we go. Big hits.
The riposte. Nice.
I can get it. I can get one extra heavy off on him, so that's what I go for.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, he switched targets real quick there. Oh, you didn't die. I thought you did.
No.
Excellent.
Ooh, I might hear that because I don't have any more health.
Yeah.
In the rocky area there.
I'm out of my fucking stamina there. What's going on? Oh, that was the grab. That's the grab.
Minnesota Sandsteak's fight choreography looked worse than Zero. Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I unlocked fast travel ever. Yeah. When they would just instantly show up places. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be like too much traveling. Like too much traveling being
Got him.
shown otherwise, you know. The kiddo was resting on the couch and I don't want to get loud. Aw.
That was good. Ooh, red feathered. Oh, that's the red tearstone ring, isn't it? Yeah, this is the red tearstone ring. That's awesome. RTSR is when your health is low, you deal more damage. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the shack.
Yes, because
Actually, hold on. Let me see what my inventory looks like because I have
You have to-
1, 2,
you have to-
and
You have to touch the grease so I can go back.
oh. I just touched grass.
Touch grass.
I'm
so I
just
can
gonna
come
go back to
please.
the. Can I go back to the round table hold? Do you have everything?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to level up the iron balls.
Hmm.
It's tempting, but I do have some smithing stones that I picked up, so I'm gonna level up the Bloodhound Fang past level 0. Oh, I need somber smithing stones for the Bloodhound Fang.
For the Bloodhound, yeah, because it's a.
Oh, you were going to study Thunders. You gotta study, girl.
You still didn't rest though.
Oh, what? Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that
No.
teleporting. I thought that teleporting rested. I apologize.
It's all good.
Yeah, there it says you've died.
It's all good.
I probably got about 20 more minutes in me.
That's totally good. We made it to Liurnia.
We did. Well, we started in Liurnia.
Well, we didn't start in Liurnia. We started and went into
Everywhere
the
else.
Weeping Plateau and all that. Yeah. Yeah, but we got our stuff. We started Blythe. We started Raya. We got a Halig Tree medallion. We got a Dectus medallion.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we did a lot of like extra shit.
Yeah.
I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
Did we gotten a bell bearing? I'm gonna go see if we
Yes,
got a bell bearing.
we just got because you murdered the blackguard.
Oh.
We got the the map's right here.
Gostock is his name. I was like, Costco?
Gostock. Gostock is the
We don't have smithing stones available to us yet.
No.
So I need smithing stones smithing stone ones.
Trying to think of where you can get some early smithing stones, but I can't remember really.
Yeah, me either. I'm gonna level up twice, maybe 3 times. We're gonna keep on going for strength because I really want to use my big bonk stick. Inventory. Don't have anything I can sell. Oh, you are still in there.
Yeah, because
I'm gonna walk to it.
No, don't worry. I'm literally gonna go to what you call it.
I just went because I was done there.
Oh, then we're good. That's fine too. I don't need anything from.
Alrighty. I don't know. I don't have anything to buff these fuckers. Where'd you go?
To get the
I
map
see.
piece, which is
I
right
see you.
next to-
Yeah.
Map's right there. Okay, what next? Let's see, where are we? Liurnia. Alright, so we're in Gate Town. Oh, Dialos is over here.
There's a Tibia Mariner somewhere near, isn't there?
Yeah.
I lost you again. We're gonna go straight north.
Yeah, I'm heading towards Dialos.
Okay. I did not know that I needed somber smithing stones to upgrade the Bloodhound Fang. So as soon as I get a 3, I'll go ahead and upgrade it, I guess.
But tell me if you know, would you?
But for now, we punch people.
I
I punched some. I saw 2 people and I'm just like, fuck you guys.
Oh.
Who would that be? But tell the whereabouts of the hidden.
Oh my god, you just like pulled me out of conversation with him and everything.
I seriously, I was just walking
you!
by and I'm just like, yeah. I literally was just, I couldn't be bothered.
Oh my god, that was
like, fuck
so
these guys.
funny. He's like, get fucked! Oh, that was funny.
Oh, I had the axe talisman. That means that my charge attacks.
No, stop
okay, we're
rolling.
actually kind of cooking. I'm dealing like 200 plus damage. The stagger damage on these things is amazing.
Immaculate.
Incredible. Okay. By your leave, I'll pretty much follow you.
Okay.
I don't know where to go.
We're heading into the town. Oh, wait, get
Going around town, huh? Going downtown.
Wait. What do you have? Yay. Oh, look,
Oh.
a somber too.
I need a 3, but yeah.
Alright.
All right.
To the academy.
So the academia.
The
We're gonna
academia.
get smart. We're gonna get smart, and we're gonna go to college with a bunch
We're
of little
going
kids
to Hogwarts.
who were told that they were academically gifted, and now all they have is adult anxiety.
We must go to Hogwarts.
Hogwarts, come to Hogwarts.
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 Oh, thank you.
Ah, they were attacking you, and they attacked me instead because I was coming up on them. All right, are we fucking people up?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
fucking people up.
What? How? Stop throwing things at me. It's very rude.
Yeah, the stagger damage on the ball sacks is awesome.
The ball sack stagger, you know.
Yeah, it's
Good
great.
old ball sack stagger.
You know, it always reminds me of my favorite inquiry with a friend. I was just like, if you could have anything you want, like a wish, what would it be? And his third wish was a 45-pound nutsack.
But you'd have to carry that around.
I asked him if he wanted it to be like appropriately sized for the weight, or if he just wanted it really, really dense. And he never got back to me. But this is over 15 years ago.
Or maybe he's really thinking about it.
I hope so.
Like one day he's gonna be like, I have decided.
So I just want to say, I am in my element so hard right now.
You're just more than.
Now that I have these balls.
All right. Good.
Now that I
I'm
have
glad.
these lethal weapons, I am. Oh, we need to go get the fucking key.
Yeah. The dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're dealing damage now. Smithing Zone 3.
Oh. Thank you for hitting him. Thank you. You did so good.
You're welcome.
No, not you. This guy. The cart hit the guy that was hitting me.
Oh, I killed the cart.
Yeah. Nice.
God, we're fucking cooking now.
All right.
What's for dinner? I don't know.
These dead bodies. Whatever the rock is cooking is what's for dinner.
Jesus Christ. Using these while leveling up is just like a cheat code. Oh my god.
Amazing. Let's go.
I am living my best life right now. Fuck you. Twice. Who's next? Give me something to bend.
All right, let's get this grace.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then we can go get the key.
Yeah.
How do you know of the key?
How do you know of the key?
I am so in my element right now with these fucking
Amazing.
handballs.
I'm glad. All right.
Oh, me too.
The island is.
Yeah, which one of these fuckers is it? Is it...
I think it's
I'll just
off
follow you.
to the side where we haven't discovered yet. I think it's over this way. I think. Let's head towards 4, possibly.
I have no clue.
It's hard because I don't have the map unlocked yet. If I had the map unlocked, I'd be like, oh, it's over here. Because it's like a little island, like off to the side.
Gotcha.
Can we go here? Oh,
I'm
no,
getting flamed.
Don't get flamed.
Flame on. Flamey-o, Hotman.
Don't be mad. Be glad.
I want to greet people as Hotman going forward. And say
Hotman.
Flamey-o to them. Your fingers, let me lick them.
Lick them. No, you can read them, you creeper. Did you get the seed? The golden seed?
I did not.
Get the golden seed.
Where is it?
Right here.
Oh.
Right
How do I
here.
get down?
On the couch. Right there. Exactly.
Man, I love this. Whatever this is. Maybe I did get it. I don't see it. I do see it. Never mind.
Okay.
I've grabbed it.
Amazing.
Yeehaw! Ha! Ha!
Alright, let's head this way and see if we
Are
see
we
a
gonna kill the dragon too? I think we should.
Yeah, let's go for it.
One of my favorite streaming experiences watching Elden Ring ever was watching Sophie do this dragon for 20 minutes.
Why?
Because she was just running around in circles.
Oh.
Like she was only punishing one attack with like a single attack
Yeah.
and running away until it was free. It was like 20 plus minutes of her just running around, and eventually she was victorious. But it was poetic, really.
That's funny.
All right, there's some albies.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the rock? No.
Rose Church. No. Wait, there's an invader in here. Oh, no, there's not. It's one of those sanguine warriors. Gosh, I'm stuck.
Oh, these things fuck me up.
Yeah. No. 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 No.
I got blood lost. Got him.
Got him.
Awesome.
But
We get nothing for it, but that's okay.
no, we got a blood rose. Very important things.
Oh boy.
Oh, gold.
Is that the rock? I think that's the rock. It looks like Pride Rock.
Dwayne the Rock
I love
Johnson.
watching this little bug just get fucking ransacked. Ooh, nice.
Blood flame blade.
The great, it's almost midnight and I'm asleep. May, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I really appreciate it. It's
Yay,
always amazing to have you
May.
here. I hope you sleep ever so wonderfully. Yeah, I think it's this way, right? Yeah, this rock, maybe.
Okay, let's see.
I'm gonna punch the squid. Yeah, I think it is this rock, just the other side.
Okay.
Maybe not. It's this rock. It's this rock.
I'm gonna say if we had the freaking map.
This is in the
yeah,
water.
there it is. Yeah. If we had the map, I would have immediately seen it, but.
Like, I feel like I got the map for this area, but I can't open it right now.
This is just on the other side of the new area.
I'm gonna sneak up, grab the item so that we can guarantee it.
Yeah.
And then, I don't have any buffs or anything.
You don't have Golden Vow from the halberd?
Oh, do I? I don't have the armament. Oh, I do have Golden Vow. Neat.
Yeah, the Golden Halberd has Golden Vow.
I had no idea. I just picked it up elsewhere. Wow, you stood up.
Because I apparently touched the branch.
You touched grass?
I did.
Have you ever been a gamer before? Like, do you
No.
even understand?
I've never gamed
this
in my
means?
life. I don't know how well I'm going to do against the glintstone dragon with glintstone sorceries, but here we are.
Oh, we can, jelly.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, fire is a one-tap when you are a glass cannon like I am. Ooh,
Okay.
I could probably... Oh, we don't have physique yet, do we?
Physic yet? No, we don't.
Yeah, I was going to say I could physique. No, I can't. No, I cannot.
We do have bubble tears, though.
Hmm.
I'm dead. This guy might be a little overwhelming for us right now.
I think we give it one more go.
Okay. I just don't have any. I have very few upgrades, and I don't
Same.
have any like super buffs or anything.
Yeah.
So.
We'll give it one more
Okay. Okay.
one more
I'm down for
honest go, and then we can.
Yeah,
Weird
I'm down for
question.
that.
Shoot, Nikki, what's up?
We're so far away. There's a closer grace to this, but
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and start heading over there.
Okay.
You got the
I
thing,
did
though?
get the key. Yep.
Is it a mine?
It'll pop. It'll have popped up on your screen if you.
I don't think I have it.
Okay. Might still be there.
I'll pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a rusty key. I
Hmm.
don't think a rusty key is gonna help us.
Open the Academy of Magic. Probably not.
Yeah, with the rusty key. Probably give him tetanus or something.
What other drums? Should I go to Guitar Center to buy drums? They sell them. Yeah, they do sell them. They have like starter kits. It like depending on what time, like what time frame you're looking. Like, if you know, if you're not trying to do it like right now, I would wait till like right around Christmas, and I would get one of like the starter kits when they go on sale for like 199 bucks
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, I would invest $8,000 in it.
Take a lesson, yeah. But yeah, I would get like a Yamaha like starter kit for like 199 bucks, like right before
Yep,
Christmas or something.
I'm always an advocate when people like start off, if they're not like 100% committed
Yeah.
to like what their hobby is going to be, if they're just like, I want to try this out, to
Yeah,
not
I want to learn.
spend
or-
a ton of money
yeah.
into it, you know? I tell that with like new streamers all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, don't get a $3,000 setup if you don't need to. The dragon, is disappearing.
She'll come back. See, there it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you get the item?
She
Did you get
stands
the
up
item?
anyway. I'm getting it. Okay. All right.
Until I learn it, I
My-
quit.
I got my jellyfish.
Okay. Alright, Jelly, you got this.
Oh, fuck. You are dealing not much damage.
I know. It's a glintstone dragon. I didn't think I was going to do very much
Yeah.
against it. Now my Jelly is trying so hard.
I'm riding my horse. As soon as he does attacks like this, I ride my horse.
Yeah. Music instrument industry built off the backs of beginners. Yeah. It's true. And everyone has to start somewhere.
Yeah, they do. Writing torrent to the right. as
Oh my
fast as
gosh,
I
my
can.
jelly is like, I'm coming. I'm coming.
I'm working on it.
I'm
My
coming.
jelly died in a single hit. There we go. There we go. Got a stagger finally.
Yeah, we're posted.
Let's
Move
say
off
you're gonna
all day.
propose.
No, I couldn't get the riposte. Tried.
Okay. Our jelly avoids that attack. That's so sick. That's a flame?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
No, it's a slam. Not me. Tail.
Come here. Yo, Cello, what's good, bud? 4 a.m. Jesus, that's insanely early. Go to bed, Jesus. If I had to wake up that early, I would also be gone. That's a slam too. I get on my horse regardless.
Oh, get
Hell
there close.
yeah.
I can't.
I can't either.
Damn. Yeah, I can't.
There's
with
too
my
much.
offhand.
There's too much wing in the way.
Yeah. I wish offhands worked on riposte because
Yeah.
it'd be so much easier.
All right. All right, we're halfway there.
Okay, that's fire. Okay, that wasn't a big fire. That's not bad.
Holy shit! I just spammed roll and it worked. Amazing.
Yaga! Thank you for the raid.
Ooh, nice, nice. Hi, Yaga.
Hi, Yaga. What'd you play? I can't see. Resident Evil. Wait, I thought you said you finished Resident Evil.
Cool.
Hello,
Cool, cool,
Raiders. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. I know that you know who I am, but on the off chance that you don't know who I am, hello, hi, welcome in. My name is Krista, or Pinxel. Most people just call me
God,
Pink.
you just deal no damage.
I
This
am
is so funny.
a variety streamer,
I'm
and
gonna
I
get it.
play
I'm gonna try.
whatever the heck I want. And that includes things like
There we
Lego
go.
games, Nintendo games,
How much damage
simulators,
does that even
shooters,
deal?
survival games,
Okay,
and
that's
everything in
fine.
between.
Just
I
making sure.
am currently playing some Elden Ring in the seamless co-op mod with our good friend EnvoyOTE. We are playing Beauty and the Beast. I am Beauty, he is
This
Beast,
might be a
as
flame?
I'm sure you
Nope.
can see.
We're gonna
And
get this.
yeah, we're doing
We
pretty
still
good. We
got
just
this.
got to
All right, Flyer, get on torrent.
Liurnia, so I can start getting some magic. And yeah, you know how it goes. But welcome in, guys. I have a really quick video that I like to show when we get a raid. See if this is someplace you want to hang out, get to know us, spend some time, see what we're about, what to expect, all that good jazz. You know the deal. I'm gonna hit the button and hopefully I won't die. I won't die. Hi there, friends. Are you a human being with disgusting bodily functions? Everyone comes here for the PPC, the peak poop content. I have poopies for you. I'm sorry that you didn't get to experience the butts. Look at that donk.
Why are you so excited for this?
Oop. And I died. Oopsies. You can't do anything with human meat, which is kind of boring. Put your clothes on. What if you just like collected a bunch of farts? My mom? Are you pooping? I'm a big girl. I do Mordors. No! Do you think he survived? This is literally. Let's go faster! I died. What do I do about this giant ball chasing me?
Chaos, come watch us.
I'm trying to make sure we don't die.
Why are you looking so close?
I wasn't. I just looked down and I could see it.
Oh my god.
Whoa.
He's still rolling. Cannibal animals swinging at you. The moose is running laps around you. Don't give me that baby. Do you know where your children are? Will you show them to me, please, so I can beat them up? I don't like scary babies in video games. I don't like scary babies in real life. Maybe let's not say those things on my stream. Okay, have fun, bye! It'll save you hundreds of money on your car insurance by switching to doo-doo poo-poo. I'm trying to make the poop. Go, bees!
Bees! Get the bees!
Oh my god! What is happening? I keep finding these boners. You can have your very own Greg.
It's soup. It's soup.
Where are the Vajuzhans? I just want to be beautiful like her. I am Cat. I can help you. He's totally dead. He's just standing there. Just because I was supposed to move him. I look like the kid from Stranger Things. You can go anywhere on Twitch, and this is what you choose to do with your time. Okay, game is done. Okay, thanks for coming.
Jib. We were actually doing pretty well there, all things considered.
That was a
Like with the damage output.
good attempt there. Yeah.
It was.
We
yeah.
we got real close there.
He did the big flamethrower attack that
I saw.
I couldn't avoid.
I saw you. Ugh. Do you want to do one more, or are we good?
I'll do
think,
one more.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think we can get it. I said don't die. I know. Envoy died first though.
I did. We both got one shot. I'm gonna go rest real quick.
Oh, okay.
Because I just wanted to kill some Albernorex. All right. Do I? I'm going to use Golden
Checked
Vow.
him under the bus. I did.
Like, I can use Golden Vow, right?
You should be able to still use the.
Yeah, like, even if I can't wield the weapon properly, I should be able to still use Golden Vow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that.
Okay.
We should be okay. But our stagger, like, I'm able to stagger pretty reliably with the balls, even if I'm not using, like, constant buffs and all that other stuff. I also, like, I fought this guy solo when I had, like, a plus 15 balls already. And then also had some other super swag, so... yeah. Am I missing a...
Plus 15 balls.
Yeah, plus 15 balls.
Listen,
He is a ways away. There is a
him
grace
under
that
the
is closer,
bus.
but I don't know where it is off the top of my head.
Is there? Is there really?
Yeah, this is not the run back. Because he took me a few tries to get. At the very least, it's up there at the rises, like the three sisters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here.
Okay.
But if you want to find a grace back there.
All right, I'll go a little further and see.
I feel like there has to be one in the inconspicuous field.
Yeah, I see the twinkle over here.
Okay.
Okay,
That might be the
touched.
closest one.
It is touched. Okay, I am heading that way.
Sure love a good touching.
I am heading to Dragon.
Okay. And this time I can like get the jump on him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We can get the fight started.
Yeah, I'm behind you. I see you.
Alright, I'm going to... We'll both stand here and use our jellies at the same time.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we should separate our jellies if you want to go around the other side.
it. Yeah.
Just separate our jellies.
Got it.
That way they don't get pwned in the same hit. Which, if anybody doesn't know, I'm trying to bring back pwnage. I can't do it alone. I need your help. So on and so forth. If you want to know what pwnage is or what the act of pwning is...
If you don't know what pwnage is, you are too young.
Yeah, you're probably too young for this. Alright, 3, 2, 1, jellies.
Got it. Jelly dropped.
Golden Vow. I can't use it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. I thought you could still use the Ash of War.
Oh, I didn't even realize he was attacking. Oh, hi, Cello. Yeah, Cello's just stopping in and out.
Oh my god.
Again, he was attacking. I didn't even realize it. This is a bad attempt so far. Oh, he's... Wait, what the fuck? How is he almost dead?
What?
He's like over halfway dead. I barely hit him.
What?
Did I like use... Like, I used my, my balls, like, roar thing?
No, that does not do that.
No, there's no way.
much.
I'm gonna die.
He's not for me.
That's the
He's
flamethrower.
his health bar is up, and now it's
Okay.
gone. His health just one tapped like halfway. What is
I'm dead.
happening?
What the fuck? How did we deal that much damage though?
No idea. Let me just grab these.
And you're alive now.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
That's so strange.
But this fucker's halfway, huh? Interesting. Oh my god, I do no damage.
Love to
There's
see
no
it.
way. Oh, he's
Died.
fading. Yeah, it did the thing where he was like.
Yeah, because he's like
Deloading?
too far away, I think. Or he
Yeah,
was.
yeah. That was weird. That was weird.
That
That
was weird. I want to try that again. One more time.
Yeah.
I'm not even having a super one more bros game. I'm having.
No, that was that was weird. That didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to the 4 Belfries.
Okay.
How did he lose half his health that fast? That's
I have
crazy.
no
Crazy.
idea. I mean, I'm not complaining. Like, I would like for him to lose half his health.
Yeah,
every
just
time.
do that again.
But
Whatever we just did, do it again.
yeah.
All right. This dragon can die. So my Ash of War on the balls makes me do a completely different heavy attack. That's like a 3-part combo, and I hate it.
Oh. So it's not a.
I like
good-
doing
yeah.
the big single hit.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
You are back there. I can go ahead and get it started, honestly.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm heading that way.
Okay.
Someone's jelly is just chilling, still fighting him.
Really?
What?
Oh, I saw his health bar like flash.
Yeah, there's a jelly over here just doing its jelly best.
I mean, I just summoned one, but
It's here there.
yeah, keep him up against the rocks if we can. There we go. Good damage. Let me get over your wing, you stupid lizard! Come on. He was like breathing too much. Fucking breathers, man.
Damn breathers, man.
All right. No fucking way, dude.
Did that hit you?
Yeah, I got hit by one single piece. Can you like run back to the Grace and like
Yeah.
or like de-aggro him?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, his health bar when we started like immediately went down to half, like where we had him, and then immediately filled back up.
I think when people breathe too much, they need to just not. I know. People need to just stop breathing.
I really would prefer it if a lot of people would stop breathing. I won't name names.
Just simultaneously stop breathing, everybody.
Yeah, just go ahead and rest again, I guess.
Yeah, I'm almost there.
Yeah, that one flame attack is the only thing that I can't really dodge.
Yeah.
Excuse me? What? Excuse what?
Oh, I'll name names. Oh, will you?
Oh, no, boy.
Those are fighting
Sneaky
words,
loser.
Yaga.
What are we excusing?
I'm not a fan of
Alright.
people eating. I'm just not a fan of people, period.
You wouldn't like me to stop breathing? Ah, yes. The first person I thought of to stop breathing, Thundus, down Undus. Goodness gracious. I would like you. You know what, Thundus? I would like you to breathe more. After a comment like that, I would prefer it if you would breathe even harder.
Wow.
If that's not affection, I don't know what is. Are we going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hyperventilate. Yeah.
I bet if you had like a super baller magic, you could climb up to the top of this rock
Oh, that'd be ballin'.
and
but-
like snipe him and he wouldn't be able to touch you.
but I don't have baller magic.
You don't. Yeah, your magic is kind of weak as fuck right
My
now.
magic is not very baller. It's not very cash
All
money.
right, I'm gonna jelly. You breathe super slowly. Interesting.
He's literally fading in and out of existence right now.
Yeah, his health bar. Yeah, there it is again. Oh, it was at half. His health bar went down to half, like, really quick.
He's stunned. Go smack him in the booty.
There we go.
Love a good cheese.
Fire. What the fuck? Bro, what was that? No, that was so dumb. He, like, didn't go back at all.
Alright, let's go back.
Are you winning?
The secret to magic is you need extra sparkles. I need more sparkles. I don't have enough sparkles.
Sounds like some Moon Tiara magic nonsense to me.
That's what it does sound like.
Dun 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 dun.
That's what you need to say
Alright.
every time you throw a moon at somebody, Yaga.
Oh yeah. I think that is going to be it for me for the
That's
evening.
Perfectly acceptable.
I want to come back to the Glintstone Dragon next week.
That's fine. I'm good with that. I will go to the round
I want
table.
to probably after Renala because I want to level up my balls. I'm definitely in my comfort zone right now with the balls.
Yeah.
And the damage output is just mwah, it's so good.
Chef's kiss.
I am. What the fuck is going on with this thing? I don't know. But I am gonna wait to get spawned back in, I guess. I don't know where you are.
I went to the
Okay.
round table, but I will.
Yeah, you did, and I was just like, you spawned back on the big pillar, and I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Do we have anybody to raid that you want to raid?
Do we have a firekeeper we can toss a raid to?
I do not know. Let's find out. Wait, no, I have to use my separation mist, huh?
You do, yeah.
All right, let's use it. I'm gonna leave my world, and then I'm gonna quit out like a normal person. Awesome.
I mean, you want to
That will
just
be
double
it.
raid Jen?
Love that idea. Honestly,
Okay,
that
let's
sounds
double raid Jen.
fantastic. Yes,
All
because she is popping off on Dust Stream, and she's playing Bee Simulator. What is this? I don't even know. This is not Bee Simulator, but either way, let's just go ahead and raid Jen. I love this idea because I've raided like 3 Firekeepers already so far.
Okay.
I'm
She's
gonna
playing
do my
needy
spiel.
streamer overload. Oh no, it's her raid video. It's her raid video. That's what it was. I was like, what the heck? Okay. All right. Yes.
Gotcha.
Let's go
gotcha.
raid Jen.
I'm gonna do my little outro here for a little bit. Pinxel, thank you again for always hanging out with me.
Of course. Thank you
Every
for
single week.
having
It is
me.
such a pleasure. And hopefully be able to do this next week. I need to look at my schedule and see
Yes.
what we can
Like,
do.
well, next week is my streamathon, so you will have to let me know when you're available.
Yes,
because
yes,
I'll
I'll
be
absolutely work around
live
you.
24/7. So.
Incredible, honestly. All right, with that, I'm gonna be heading out. Thank you so much again, and I will talk to you later.
Yes. Good night. Good night. Envoy's
Later.
chat. Goodbye. Everyone say good night to Envoy.
Farewell.
Farewell, good
Pink
hunter.
people. Wait, Pinks people?
Pinks
Something like-
people? Pinks? Pixels? Pinks?
All right.
I don't know. All right.
See ya.
Good night, Envoy. Bye. All right, guys. We're going to go raid. Jen is online, who is the leader of my new stream team that I'm on. This is the raid message that we are using. Please copy and paste that because it is not my normal raid message, but that's what we're using. I will see you guys on Saturday, 12 noon, for my streamathon. Thanks for hanging. Go give Jen lots of love. Bye.